Hello everybody, welcome to another Saturday. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Let us know in the chat if the voice is coming through loud and clear and you guys are happy with the audio. We are streaming both on Twitch and on YouTube, so hello to all the Twitch viewers. Make sure you do say hello if you are in Twitch, and don't forget, as part of the new setup, we because we're multi-streaming now, we can actually multi-stream to other platforms as well. As we sort of get used to this new sort of world of streaming everywhere, we can stream to TikTok and X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it these days. There's a few other places like Facebook. I think for now we'll just stick to Twitch and YouTube because I kind of feel like they're fairly similar sort of platforms. So hello to all the Twitch viewers if you are new here. And also a big hello to all my regular viewers on YouTube. And don't go anywhere. We're not leaving you guys. We're here. This is the Synth Geekery Show, episode 268. If you're wondering what the hell you've arrived at, what is this show about? This show is about the stuff that you can see behind me with all these colourful lights. We call them synths or synthesizers if you want to be all formal. Let's not be formal. We've got eurorack modular, there's another name for it. We've got keyboards, desktop synths, we've got samplers, sequencers, music technology galore, and that's what the show's about. And our love for it and us geeking out, that's why it's called the Synth Geekery Show. And hopefully you guys can stick around. We have a bunch of regular guests that join us every week, and it's really, really lovely to see them all here. Now, before we get into the hellos and introduce you all to them, just got a couple of housekeeping things I guess we can do. So we're getting some followers on Twitch, which is good, so we'll do that. But before we go anywhere further, what I thought I'd do is I'll just quickly show you over to if you do click on the link that's pinned in the top of the chat in YouTube, or if you click on this link that's on your screen right now, which is for any donations. And the reason for it is because donations through Streamlabs, they only take 3%. So if you donate $100, it's only $3 going to Streamlabs. Whereas if you donate or super chat through YouTube, they take 30%. And that means for $100, they take $30. And you can just go through here and the donate page, as I said, it's pinned to the top of the chat. I think a lot of you guys probably feel like that's more ethical for someone just to take a transaction fee as opposed to stinging us a massive 30%, which, do they deserve it? Probably not, with all the advertising and everything that they get. I do think it's a bit of a rort. Hopefully you guys can join me on that escapade, and that's one of the reasons why I'm going to the Streamlabs platform, because I believe in it. I think it's a good ethical way for us streamers and YouTubers. The next thing to talk about is if you do want to join us on the show, we have Zoom, and you can join us with your video or just your audio or both. And if you just choose to join us, as I say every week, without your video, you can sit there in your undies and no one will know. It's a fun thing to do. Someone should try it one day. Maybe we're wearing just our undies. We don't. You guys don't know. I probably won't stand up. Anyway, join us on Zoom. There's 100 spots that you guys can fill in if you like, and that includes the Twitch viewers as well. So do check that out. It's free to join on Zoom. Zoom is a free app. You can use your browser, you can use your phone, and you can use the app, which is also free. And I do recommend that if you do use Zoom, to use the app, because the settings are a bit more complex, that you can get into the, like us nerdy audio buffs, we like to bring our synth sounds in and stuff like that. You can do all that sort of stuff apparently with the app. So do check that out. Right. And if that's not all, make sure you do click like and subscribe and follow. What are all the Twitch names they've got these days? I just don't know what they call half the stuff on Twitch these days, but I believe it's things like, I don't know, alerts. I don't know what you call it anyway. You guys on Twitch, you're going to have to school me, I think. But anyway, we'll go and say a big hello to everyone that's in the chats for both of those platforms in a sec. But before we do, let's say hello to our guests, and we'll start this week from the other end of the button pressing, and that's with Chris. Hey, Chris, how's your week been?
It's been busy.
Yeah.
Yes, got a bit more to talk about this week. Excellent. Very nice. Yes, in the workshop this week, PCBs arrived. So yeah, PCBs have arrived, and
Nice.
yes,
Cool.
This is my favourite time of the week when PCBs arrive. So I've been checking them for defects, and they all seem to be good, which is always good. And also this week, parts have arrived, so I nearly have everything I need to make more GP82 DIY kits, which have been not on sale for the last week or two, because I ran out. So yes, those things, coming back soon. So, and I've also got all the components for a new module that I'm working on. Oh, sneak preview. Can you see it there?
Cool.
Very nice.
Yeah. So, it'll be a while before I'll be able to show anything on that, because there's a bit of software development to do. But I will probably, I don't know, we can talk about it, Rant, for how much we want to share during the process. I quite enjoyed showing the process of the GP82 as I was doing it, so I'm not sure if I really want to keep this all super secret, because I think it's much more fun to share it.
Yeah.
So we'll see what people want to do.
I think people
well.
want to get their teeth into it. I like.
Yeah, it's like seeing how the sausage is made. You mean?
Yeah. As long as you're not worried about people copying you and things like that.
Well, I don't. You know? Yeah, no, it's there. Yeah, there may be one or two things that I won't share for that reason, but I'll have a think about it, put it that way.
Indeed.
So apart from that, my dad's sciatica played up this week. He's been sort of not exactly bedbound, because that's uncomfortable for him. He's actually been in a chair for most of the time last couple of days, and I've been playing taxi and taking mum grocery shopping and all that kind of good fun stuff. So, but he's starting to come good now. He's much better today, I'm pleased to say. We've not. He has had sciatica for a while, but he's not had an attack this bad before. So it's, but he's 90 something. So it's the time when these things start to become more of an issue. So that's why I'm here. So I'm glad that I could help this week. So that's pretty much it for me.
Fantastic. We like that, and we'll skip down to the next person, which is Ian.
Hello.
Hey,
hello, I'm back.
Welcome back, mate.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so 2 weeks away. Yeah. So Synthfest 2 weeks ago, Machinima Sonica last week, which my video, if you haven't seen it, it's caused a bit of a controversy. It wasn't intended.
Wow.
I like it.
What an overreaction.
Hello to the trolls. That's all you're going to get from me, because I don't respond to trolls. I thought it was a balanced review of the event, but hey ho. So this week, busy this week, we've just launched Dave Walker, Mo's second album, which is on pre-order now at Bandcamp. It's sounding pretty good. There's about 4 tracks on there you can listen to. I've been asked to go and review a short film festival in York. So I'm going back to York next month.
Oh, that's the home.
Yeah, so it'd be quite nice to go and see some more mates and all that sort of stuff. Jane's not coming with me, but so there will be a Jane replacement, who's remain nameless at the moment.
Jane replacement service.
Yeah.
The tea maker.
And the rest of the week, I've been practicing, because I played at the Wells EMOM last night, and I decided to go just Linstrument and iPad, which using four apps on iPad through AUM, and every time I practiced it, at least one of the apps crashed. Now, this is probably to do with my 2021 iPad, but anyway, it was okay. Yes, an app did crash while I was performing. I was prepared for it, but I managed to film it, and I managed to audio record it. So at some point in the future, I'll put it all together and you can have a look at it, really. So 50 minutes of ambient electronica. Although I have to say, I'd meant for the drums to come in about 7 minutes in, and they came in right at the beginning. So I thought, okay, we're going with that then. So it was completely different to how I'd rehearsed it. But it was really good fun. It was a good night, So, but yeah, no, that's my week. Or 3 weeks, really.
Yeah. Well, busy boy.
Yeah, it's been great, actually.
Yeah. Watched your video.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I liked. I kind of actually related to you. I mean, what I like about not just your video specifically, but guys like you that take the time, and actually it is an effort for you to do that, which I greatly appreciate. We're sitting here on the other side of the planet. We can't be at Bristronica.
Yeah.
So what you've done is you've given us an experience that, is like if we were to go there. And, at the same time, you're telling us how you feel. Yeah. So I really enjoyed it. So don't listen to the trolls, mate. Keep going with what you're doing.
I don't. I mean, I was really looking forward to it, and I was a little disappointed. But would that stop me going again? Probably not. I would probably. What I think what made it slightly worse was it being the week after Synthfest, and going up to Synthfest first, and then coming back to another show the following weekend. That probably had something to do with it, really. If they were further apart, and I think other people have said this. I mean, we said this on PSN last night. At the beginning of September for maybe Bristronica, or November. So you've got a month in between, really. Something like that would be much better, really. I mean, and I have been trolled before, much worse than I've been trolled this time.
That's true.
And thanks for those people, because I genuinely now do not respond to trolls. I don't take their comments down unless they start swearing.
No,
effing and
don't. We won't.
But I don't.
If you won't.
I'll leave them. But other people came to my defence, which is very sweet of them. So thank you. But I've got broad shoulders. So and I sort of did wonder whether we'd get some of that sort of stuff, really. But hey ho, it is what it is. Really, it was an honest review as far as I was concerned.
Fantastic. I'm just putting the Zoom link into chat because some people may want it. So in a second that should pop up. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to scoot it over to the other side of the world and say good day to Andy. How's your week been, mate?
Hey, I got bedhead. Just woke up, so still kind of half asleep, but glad to be here. Not much going on this week. Big thing around some circles is the comet going around lately. It's been crazy weather the last couple nights, so I haven't had a chance to look at it, but I'll put a link in the chat for some iPhone pics I took back when it was really, really bright. You could just stand outside and look at it and go, wow, that thing is huge, because it's at least 5 full moons long, the tail. That's what it was. Now it's moving away from the sun and out of the solar system on its long orbit. It's got 80,000 year orbit. But put that in perspective is kind of fun. So anyway, I'm going to try and do a live stream tonight, and if all works out well, Henrik has offered to do some live stream space music to go with it. So if we can test that out and make that work, and not steal the bandwidth enough so I can still stream from the scope, because everything's going to be tethered on an iPhone, then it'd be kind of a fun live experiment where he's jamming live and I'm looking for stuff, and we'll see how it goes. So be something new. So sometime this afternoon we're gonna test it out.
Yeah.
And I told him, so don't overdo it, because I know the time difference is really difficult, because my 8 o'clock is like the middle of his morning, basically early morning. So not everyone's up for doing crazy stuff like that. But he is, so we'll see what happens. So look for that. I put the link in there for the thing, and then I'll put the link in just for the general channel, my SynthAddict channel. So
gotcha.
Look for that. I'll always do something this weekend, even if I don't do something with Henrik. If tonight stinks, Maker Faire is actually this weekend, so I'm going Maker Faire on Sunday. So look for a live stream for Maker Faire. and Chris will be into that. And so Ranzee, you guys like to make stuff, so all kinds of wacky, kit projects, weird inventions, art installations.
Great.
They have drone races. They have all kinds of weirds. I mean, you never know what you're going to see there. And again, it's up in Vallejo, which is the old shipyards where they had the Rosie the Riveter types working there during World War II. So it's a cool old crazy place. If you saw my stream some last year, it's kind of. I hope the signal is as good as it was last year. But they have live fire sculptures outside. It's totally nuts. So if you've never seen a Maker Faire before, definitely tune in because I'm going to be there all day doing that. So
that's tomorrow.
Check it out.
It's tomorrow.
Sunday.
Awesome.
Sunday, yeah, great, brilliant.
Looking forward to it. All right.
So it'll be evening for you guys. Well, at least for UK folks. So
yeah.
All right, head on over to the other side of the world, and Daren's sitting over there, keeping us all occupied with synths and stuff. How are you, mate? How's your week been?
Yeah, not bad. I think I was on holiday for a while, so I've not had anything to do with music. So other than that, that's about it. I've been away from the studio all week, so yes, first time in it. I caught the purple one writing a track for tomorrow. Well, it wasn't writing a track for tomorrow. It's completely nothing to do with me. He just said he wants. I've never played anything of his live, so he wanted to create a track that can be played live and maybe at some point put as a bonus track on an album when he does it. And I caught him. The studio was absolutely a tip. I had to clean up all the Parma violets and put all the gear back to normal. But yeah, so I might put that out tomorrow, or should I say he'll put it out tomorrow because I had nothing to do with it. I was on holiday. But other than that, yeah, that's it. It's just a holiday and come back to a mess.
Okay, fair enough. Well, you're allowed to do that. You're definitely allowed to do that. I'll go back to all of us. I'm just in chat. I'm just pasting some people's YouTube channel links. So the first one is, I probably should actually write in here Daren's. So Daren's.
Actually, there is something I just forgot. Can I just say happy wedding anniversary to my dear wife, who was
happy
very long-suffering dear wife. 30 odd years. I don't know how many years it is.
Congrats.
I did manage to buy her an anniversary card yesterday. So
are you saying she deserves a trophy, Ian?
She deserves more than a trophy, Andy. I can tell you. I mean, she even came to the EMOM last night, bless her. And,
oh wow!
Tolerated that. She's great. Actually. She's just gone off to something this afternoon, but not that she watches this, but thank you guys.
All right, there is the YouTube channels for everyone pasted into Twitch chat and into YouTube chat. So please give those. If you haven't, just go and give them a sub, give them a thumbs up on a video. Don't disappear off to their channels though. Stay on the show, of course. Stay on the show, otherwise you'll miss out.
Yeah, the timing is tricky on that one, right?
yeah.
But one of the reasons why they're here is to get their brands or their channels across as well, and it's beneficial to them as well. So please give them some love, is what I say. But not only that, give us a thumbs up on this show if you can, and a sub if you can. I've noticed there's about 50 viewers right now, so share the stream with some friends. Get them to come and watch. It'd be nice to have a few more people on, the newbies. But if you are wondering who the Chatties are, now at the moment I can only show YouTube, and I'm working on. Don't worry, this is all new to me, but I'm all working on it. So we will persevere with this button, but at the moment we'll do, this is the chat from, I know it's refreshing, this is the chat from YouTube, and I'm going to actually set up a window for Twitch people. Don't worry, it's going to happen, but for now we'll just do it like this. Okay, so first person I think was Kosh Dukai, wasn't he, Ian?
He was.
He gets the Yellow Guernsey this week. I think he's in both Twitch and YouTube at the moment, to be fair, because I'm seeing double in my chat window here. Nice to have you joining us so early, mate. And the Half God, Half Beast is there. And what I do want to mention, though, is a special mention to the channel members on YouTube, which are Kent Spong. And he was actually the first in. Human Errors then popped in. Big hello to you. And one of you probably don't realise, but Chris is also a channel member, Maikshifter. And also, we'll talk about other types of supporters in a minute. Mr. Mac Macrodose is there. We can talk about him a little bit later in the show as well. No, he hasn't done anything wrong, don't worry. And a big special mention to guys like Inverted Pope, who's been part of the show for a hell of a long time. There we go. Thank you very much,
Keep
Mr.
it up, darlings. 4x.
Oh, there we go. It worked. Did you guys hear that?
It does work. It's
Yes.
brilliant.
Yes. Keep it
That's
up,
excellent.
darlings. 4x.
4x.
There's a little thing there. Perfect timing too, Mr. Spong. Right.
Beautiful.
As I was mentioning too, some of the mods that are in the chat room, you guys will see them with the little spanner next to their name. Big hello to those guys who keep all the naughty people happy. But that's right. There's not very many naughty people. Sometimes we do, though, don't we? Sometimes.
Occasionally.
Yeah. Anyway, regular segments time. Yes, this show we have regular segments, and like no other, we have this one to start us off with. Yes, Daniel Craig has been letting us know about the different parts of synthesis, and this is Daniel's East versus West look. And for those who don't actually follow Daniel Craig,
Bond. It's James Bond.
James Bond is the first one on,
Yeah.
and then the second one is when he did that. What was he, like a crazy sort of drug guy or something, wasn't he?
Yeah. What's the film?
I'm trying to
Layer
remember.
Cake
what it
was really good. He's in Layer
Yeah.
Cake.
It wasn't Layer Cake. It was one before that.
Yeah, Layer Cake's more like a James Bond prototype thingy.
Yeah.
He's a tough guy.
We think Layer Cake was the one that got him the Bond gig in the first place, I think.
Totally, yeah, because he's acting like Bond in it. So.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, yeah. Good film if you've not seen it, guys.
It is a great film. It is a great film. And for those who, don't remember who Daniel Craig is, do go check out his Bond films. He's not the latest Bond. He's the one that's just retired. So
He used to live a few miles outside of Pocklington, and he used to come into Pocklington to buy his beers from the off license. He's been, that's what he used to do.
I actually heard, though, he did like synthesis. Is that true? Was he collecting synths
I
or
don't
something
know about
like
that.
I don't know.
Don't know
Yeah,
about-
no.
I did hear that somewhere. I don't know. You never know.
He never came in the music shop, put it that way.
Never came in your music shop.
No, that's right. Yeah, he'd have gone to Care for Music, wouldn't he?
I'm just kidding.
No. We're limited by
What a burn.
by space. He was. Ouch.
Because J.J. Abrams is into synths. He goes to a local store in San Francisco and hangs out there.
Well, you know why he's into synths, don't
Right,
you?
JJ.
Is it his daughter? That's the
Oh, I don't remember.
the smash hit. She's in the #1 chart at the moment, isn't it? It's pretty sure it's his daughter. Gracie
lots
or
of
Grace,
flares.
Grace Abrams, Gracie, something like that. Anyway, my daughter tells me all about this stuff. By the way, that's the only reason why I'd know. I have a teenage
Pulse
daughter.
rants.
Well, it's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Next one is this one, which was sent in by Henrik. Good on you, Henrik.
That's a good one.
It was a good one. And the comment that I couldn't help myself was that Franz Gruber may not like that time signature very much, considering that he was the original composer, I believe, of Silent Night.
Yeah.
If you're wondering what the original time, I mean, I don't really have
See,
a
I
problem
didn't
with
think
it.
the time signature was right.
It's 3/4, right? So
Yeah, I thought-
you can
yeah,
do a
it is.
6/8.
Sort of almost a
You
waltz.
can do
Yeah.
6/8. It's just
You can do a 6/8.
It's just more of a waltz, though. So
It is. Yeah.
Might be a bit quick if it's
I
a
think-
6/8.
yeah, exactly.
Anyway, where were we? We were there, and then we need to. Sorry, I don't know why it's done that. It's gone back to him. Next is this one. Outside the Volca store. Now, you guys need to probably maybe.
I mean,
look
you
at
have
that
to
a
get
bit.
warmed up, so,
You might need to look at that a bit closer.
Oh dear.
I
Yeah.
think that's my favorite right there. So
I didn't do this meme, and that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, what else have we got? Next is your new synths came in today. Your wife signed for them. You can come with me now, or you can attempt to go home. What's your choice? Oh, I love it. Some of you just won't get that because you probably haven't got a wife. Anyway, mine wouldn't care.
We have imagination, Rants.
Next is this is an eye test. Now you guys need to make sure the test is if you're seeing red, you're normal. If you're seeing yellow, you probably need to see a doctor. And if you're seeing blue, you need to go and buy a new synth. Who sees blue? Hands up.
I think that's just the default position, isn't it? So.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Is it a green dress or a gold dress?
Yeah, I love
Sorry, is
that
it a
one.
blue
That
dress
was-
or a gold dress?
That's
Does
a
your
great
head
one.
in.
Yeah. And along the same lines, I am not buying another synth for at least 12 months. And other hilarious jokes you can tell yourself. Which I thought was brilliant.
Yeah.
I'd settle for 3 months or 6 months even.
a week.
Meme of the week. We've got Daniel Craig, Silent Night, Volker down at the mall. I'm not going to go there. The
The
Grim
Volker,
Reaper,
yeah,
the
the
Eye
Volker
Test, and one of your favourite books. Let us know in
I'm
chat,
gonna
please.
I'm going to go for
Yeah, I like
Silent
the book.
Night.
Silent Night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Volker says human error. Daniel Craig says tent. What are you guys saying in Twitch? Let us know. Grim Reaper says man with beard. Yeah. Grim Reaper, Silent Night, Grim Reaper, Grim Reaper. A lot of people going Grim Reaper. A
Yeah.
couple of Volkers.
Well,
Yeah. I'd say Grim Reaper's probably got it, eh? What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
All right. So, meme of the week, Grim Reaper. What was that one? That was this one here. Just to remind everyone. There we go. Beautiful. All right. Fantastic. Well, who enjoyed those? Were they good?
They were good.
I enjoyed.
Yeah, it was good.
I think we've had a couple of repeats in there, but because the show's been going for over 5 years, a lot of you guys
It's
will be
starting to
like,
get hard to
I
tell."
wasn't there then, so I won't know.
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
Memes do tend to circulate, and then someone
That's
will
right.
go, "First time I've seen that one, I like it." Yeah. All right.
Yes.
Well, we better get ourselves locked in, strapped in, whatever you want to do. Grab yourself a beverage and get yourself ready for this segment. Serious, people. It's getting serious. Not really. Welcome to the news. And what we've got here is a title that didn't fit in my little title box, but that's okay. It says there. I love my work sometimes. It's just hilarious. It's the TipTop Audio Buchla 259T programmable complex waveform, and I've even need to probably stretch that across. Generator, I think the last word is. There we go. That's what it is, if you're wondering.
it was always good at making titles roll off the tongue, that Buchla.
Yeah. I mean, it's written across the top of the module there, and
Well, you've got to fill the space. You're
Yeah.
paying for all that module space. You might as well put ink on it.
exactly. Well, why don't we have a little look at the intro? We're not going to watch the whole vid, but we'll have a little look at the intro, and we'll come back and have a chat about it. Here we go.
Hey there, everyone. I hope you are all doing good. Stasma here. Today, we can finally take a look at the 259T Programmable Complex Waveform Generator by Buchla and TipTop Audio. This video is sponsored by TipTop Audio, as they sent me the 259T in advance so I can show it to you. Many thanks, TipTop Audio.
Probably going to get a copyright strike for this, but anyway, we'll go for it. right, there we go. There's a bit of a taste of the Buchla 259T. For those who didn't really realise it, if you look at this, there's kind of two sections and a little secondary bit on the end for each section. Two oscillators, and the modulation side is on the left, and the principal side is on the right. We're talking Buchla talk, by the way, guys, and I know nothing about Buchla, so bear with me. Each has multiple outputs, so you can get that stereo effect if you want. There are 3 wave shapers. There's a wave folder, a sawtooth, and an M shape, which is kind of like a squarish shape. If you do buy these, from what I understand, is that you're in the Buchla world, right? So if you've got just a standard eurorack, my understanding is if you went and bought this as a single module, it probably isn't going to work with all your other stuff. You need to have your Buchla conversion thingamajigs. Is that right, Andy? That's my understanding.
My understanding is they've adapted it for Eurorack, so it's not totally on its own.
Not totally on its
but
own?
I could be completely wrong about it. Wagyu actually has most of these modules, so he would know more at this rate.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then that's even better. So you could probably rush out and buy it, if that is the case. Yeah. So go grab yourself one of these. It's $529 into the US dollars, that is, and I think a lot of people.
Yeah, when I get some money, I'm going to get the whole set. It's cool stuff.
I think if you're going to get like a TipTop thing, I think this would be definitely a go-to module to get, just purely because you can just nerd out on that whole wave shaping. You know, it's just so good. It actually looks really inviting to get in there.
To experiment.
Anyway. Yeah. Anyone else had been checking this out during the week?
I didn't know about it until you showed your thumbnail. And then I went, did I miss something? And I checked on the thing, and it was announced quite a long time ago, but this is the first time it's actually been available. So that explains that. So it's one of those bonkers Buchla modules. I mean, it probably is quite a good one to start with. Ranzee, you got a point there. I don't know much more about it other than it creates some pretty gnarly noises, which is always good.
Yeah,
it does look pretty inviting.
And I mean, this is one you really need. If you want the Buchla sound, you got to get this module. This is like,
What's the RRP?
$529.
Okay.
So a lot of the TipTop stuff is actually quite inexpensive when you consider the actual Buchla stuff. Yeah. So you can get yourself into Buchla a lot less coin. And when this module is a big module, so it's probably on the upper end of their price range. So, but if you do look at some of the other TipTop audio Buchla stuff, it's really quite inexpensive. And you can see why people
because
like
the Verbose stuff is really expensive. The Verbose recreation stuff is... Before this stuff came out, that was like your only option other than buying a real Buchla system.
Which is a completely different format. Different voltage set, everything's different about it.
Everything, it's that. Then you are in your own world with that.
Yeah,
thing.
Yep.
I'm very interested in Buchla, but I'll probably never be able to afford one.
Well, TipTop's the way to go if you want to get into it. Other than that, you can wait for the Behringer Enigma or whatever it's called that they're going to bring out.
If you want to dabble for cheap, you get a West Pest or get a Zero Coast, because that's West Coast.
I was thinking about the West. I was thinking about the West Pest, and I'd quite like to have the East Beast as well. At some point, but
really good too.
Yeah, I mean, you could stick Daniel Craig on both of those.
Also, Pico System 3 by Erica Synths is really good.
I'm sure someone like Simon the Magpie would probably do something like that, I reckon. He'd make like a guitar pedal with Daniel Craig.
Oh, yeah.
Call it
Simon's hilarious.
East Craig or something.
Yeah.
East Daniel. Okay, beautiful. We can breeze on through. There's a fair bit to get through this week, actually, product-wise. There's a couple of double ups with products, but we'll keep going. Starting with 2HP, it's a bit hard to see. So I think we might jump into this. One of the problems I have with 2HP, I love 2HP, by the way, because they don't take up your HP in your rack. I've got heaps of theirs. But let's have a little look-see at the video. We'll do it in here. This is the 2HP Lo-Fi.
2HP, the smallest company in Eurorack.
Indeed.
Hello, this is Lo-Fi. It's an audio degradation emulator in 2HP. What do we mean by this? Well, Lo-Fi is designed to make things sound old or destroyed. It can do analog tape withering, and it can do digital crunch. Let's learn a bit deeper and go over a rundown of the controls on Lo-Fi.
Anyway, we're not going to do that, but what we are going to do is we're going to say this thing will give you the nostalgic sounds of old audio equipment in a nice little compact 2HP format, which I think you guys can just see there that's actually pretty brilliant. You will probably notice with the 2HP modules, they're quite deep because they mount the PCBs horizontally or right angles if you want to get technical with it. But finding inspiration, I think, in these sort of modules I like, because what it does is it mangles your audio to a point where you might start hearing different things pop out because you've changed, the lo-fi has changed the dynamics of what you're hearing, and it's mimicking older audio devices in the past, and it can kind of give yourself a bit of, well, they call it tasteful degradation. I like that. It's a good marketing term. Tasteful. Could I get myself a bit of tasteful degradation, please? It's got two degradation modes, analog and digital. The analog mode, you can control the amount of wow and flutter. So it's like a tape emulation. From subtle to dynamic with pitch fluctuations. You can tickle the sonic spectrum. Go the marketing talk with your ASMR hiss and crackles, and warm up the colder sounds with the tape compression and saturation. And the other one is digital mode. It has a little bit crusher, as you could probably imagine, with sample rate reduction and the wildest distortion to make your ears go mad. Anyway, you are able to control with CV over each of the functions with an ultra crisp audio pass-through. So you can take your patch straight from hi-fi to lo-fi. I like that. Anyway, the 2HP lo-fi is definitely an instant sound goodifier. Do you like that? At $149. There we go. Anyone thoughts on that one?
Oh yeah, I like 2HP stuff.
Yeah, who's the 2HP person here? I think Andy probably is.
Yeah, I got a bunch.
I've got a couple. Yeah.
All right, we'll go Chris, and then
Probably
we'll go
because I was
Andy.
being cheap, but they are good. So.
Yeah. Well, they're really cool the way they don't take up much space. They're a little fiddly sometimes to get in and out because the actual power ribbon cables tend to catch on the rest of your gear inside the rack, and I have on more than one occasions disconnected the main board from the front panel accidentally. So just a trap for those with that stuff. If you're careful, they're good little modules. I like the fact that this has a pass through. That's I was just thinking what makes this a bit more interesting than perhaps some of the other, because there have been quite a few sort of degradation-y type tape emulation Eurorack modules out there. Apart from the fact that this is 2HP, which is always really cool, I think the pass-through quality is the big thing there. I think because quite often you would not want to put your signal through some of these other modules when you want a clean output. You have to remember to unpatch it, or some of them do probably have a hard bypass, but I've not heard of that. So I think what they've done here that's clever is they've made they've used a high-end DAC system to do it. That's what I think is the point of difference here. What do you think, Rance?
48 kilohertz with 32-bit internal is what you're talking about there, big fella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good move.
Good
Smart
move. Yeah. That's when the effects are off, obviously. So, hipping over to Andy. I know you're another big 2HP aficionado.
Yeah, like I said, it started with because they're cheap and they're small, so you don't kill your space immediately with these things. And they mostly unitasking. This one's cool; it has a couple of different things in it. But he's right about the ribbon cable because they I don't know why it's mounted the way it is, but the ribbon cable, even when you fold it and flatten it as much as possible, it's pretty fat, and it sometimes you have to angle it in there to get it through the case so it doesn't catch. Another thing you have to learn though about these guys is because they're so skinny, the board has to go somewhere, so it tends to go deeper, right? So I have several that are too deep for a skiff. You know, the shallow skiffs that are like 60 millimeters or a little less than that. I think 40 to 60 millimeters is tricky with some of these modules because they can be quite deep in the Z direction. So that one's pretty shallow right there, but there are some that are quite deep, and but you can't go wrong with them because they in fact, you were talking about the marketing. Go back to the picture of the box real quick. I love some of their marketing stuff because they literally made a thing called the lunchbox, and it looks like a little lunch. No, the green picture, the one with the green. Was that the video?
Oh, the video.
Yeah, because it's built in a case that resembles an actual school metal lunchbox with the actual handle that pops out, like I carried to school as a kid. So if you look at the top there, there's a little handle because it's called the lunchbox. And so the marketing is fun, right? It's like portable, it's whimsical, it reminds you of your youth, and they just make some cool things. So they are hard to put together though. When you cram them together like that, and you got those little tiny knobs, and you're squeezing your fingers in between there, they are very fiddly. So sometimes it's better to space them out between bigger modules if you can, just to give you more finger room.
Yeah, I've done the same. It's a bit tricky to put them together next to each other.
Or you can also put the bigger knob caps on them, like Thonk and other places sell the bigger knob caps to make the knobs a little easier to use.
Yeah. I've got.
But putting them at the opposite
three
ends,
of
I
theirs.
find a good.
So I just showed you the ARP, which I don't actually have plugged into my rack, and I probably should get it out. I've got the LFO, and the LFO is one of my favorite modules out of all my modules. Yeah. It's an absolute gem.
It's a powerhouse.
And the Tune, which is also a great little module as well.
Tune is excellent. Get the Turing machine, the Tune together, and you have a nice little system.
Yeah. So the Euclid is the other one that's good too, from what I've heard.
Another secret is the mixers, the little 4-channel mixers. I use those as sub-mixers all over the place. So I have a rhythm module that has this like dumb rhythm outs. There's no control other than trigger. And then I run it through the 4-channel mixer and then use the grids or something like that to control the rhythms. Yep. And they're awesome for sub-mixers.
Well, if you're not excited enough by the one, there's another one. If you blinked, you missed it because it actually just changed on your screen. And that is this one here called the Swarm. And the Swarm is another module, obviously, by 2HP. And we can have a little look-see at the video of that as well, if I can work out how to plug it in. There. And just take Andy off for a sec. Sorry, Andy.
That's right.
2HP, the smallest company in Eurorack.
Yeah, give him a bit of love.
Hello. Today, I'm happy to share Swarm, a hyper oscillator designed for massive synth voices. Swarm is capable of creating classic supersaws, tonal noise, and thick pulse wave voices with only a handful of controls. Without further ado, let's explore the features and sounds of Swarm.
Oh, let's not, because we'll be giving it away. I think you guys need to go check the video out. Links to all the videos that you see, all the content to the show is in the blog article, which is down below, which you can watch after I get it off my butt and post it during the week, usually around about Sunday or Monday, my time. Anyway, the Swarm, if you didn't catch that, it's a hyper oscillator. Yes, it's hyped up, capable of a whole bunch of pitch and patch filling sounds with a super saw, which I think you heard, and that nice sort of tonal noise and hurricanes, which is probably not the best time to be talking about that, but thick bass and lead lines. So it's a whole bunch of a large set, basically up to 88 different voices that you can choose from, controlling the amount of available oscillators with the voices control. There's a dial-in that you can do with different pitch variances. There's voices in detune. There's you can thicken the sound with a tonal chaos. It's a whole bunch of stuff in there, which I think is pretty cool considering it's only 2 HP and it sounded really massive for such a small thing. The good news is it's only another same price as the previous module, $149. For those who want to have that sort of thick sort of tonal super sorry sound, this is the way to go. Who likes this? Hands up. $149. Yeah? Okay.
I'm on the fence.
Andy's going to buy it.
No, I don't have any money to buy it, but I would buy it.
in the virtual world, he's going to buy it with virtual money.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
For sure.
The perfect world.
I mean, you could mix the two together, right? You could put the lo-fi and the swarm together.
Yeah.
And then you've got yourself,
gritty 90s machine.
You've just taken up 4 HP in your case. You can't really go wrong. I noticed all the non-Eurorack people are being quiet at the moment.
Yeah. Although,
the nice thing is the 2 HP, although they can be skinny and fiddly, like we mentioned. The 3 HP stuff, like Erica and some other stuff, is fun.
Yeah.
It's a little more wiggle room.
Yep.
But then you start getting weird math when you start putting them together, and then you have extra HP that kind of screws things up. So
I've literally got a gap on my rack right now, right next to the Pico module. And it's like,
they tend to be even,
annoying.
right?
And it's 1 HP too.
Yeah, I have to admit, I could not put it out a module. Let's see if I do this, because it'll come back to haunt me. I don't think I'm ever going to put out a 3 HP module. But I would put out.
Don't haunt yourself.
I will be putting out 6. I will be putting out 6. So that's kind of doubled 3. So.
Although I have very useful modules in all of my stuff. The Constant Lab Power Checker one, it's a 1 HP module with little LEDs in it. And that is not only invaluable for not shorting out and blowing up modules, because I quickly know if they work on the spot.
Yeah.
But it fills in those gaps,
We call this in Australia Simpsons gap.
Yeah, that would be annoying, wouldn't it?
It's more like Enki's gap from Saturn, right? So it's a little tiny gap.
Yes, indeed. No more gaps. Is the brand that you get from the hardware store. Right.
Bit of Celestic down at Celestic.
Bit of Sellies. Next.
Tile grout works for me.
Tile grout, yes. We've gone from Buchlas to lo-fis to swarms. What's next? Is the $60,000 question. Well, what is next is quite interesting, I feel. This is a synth that has been shown in China at a music show. The company has not released this synth yet. I'm going to add a couple of photos in while I kind of talk to you guys about this. What's the best way to do that? Just chuck them in, I guess. Hope I haven't crashed the show. 3, 4.
They're quite busy
5,
with their
6
releases.
done.
They do all sorts of stuff, don't they? Guitars and all sorts of things, this company.
Why don't we pop Andy up in the corner? Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about this Donna Kebabs. No, Donna L1.
Donner Party.
If you're looking at this, you're probably thinking to yourself, I've already seen this on Synth Anatomy or all your favorite sort of blogging sites. And everyone's saying it's an SH101 clone. It kind of is. It kind of is, but not really. So a couple of things that I want to kind of show you is, let's do this as an overlay. Am I gonna be able to do that? I am, but I have to turn that one off. Hang on. How can I do that? Boom. So there is your. No, that's not the one I want. Is it this one? This is the one I want. I'll just take Andy off because he's blocking my view. What you can do with this versus an SH101 is the source mixer. You can actually access all the different waveforms through the mixer. And it's kind of a little bit like
like a mini brute.
Yeah, like a mini brute. And also a little bit like the MS one from Behringer as well. So in that sense, I thought it was kind of interesting. It features, the single oscillator that we all know with the sub oscillator. So this is very similar to, if I just take that graphic off for a sec, this is very similar to my MS. I've got the MS101. Notice that they rechanged the name.
Yeah, they changed it.
Because of a lawsuit.
Yes.
But this is the MS1, and you'll notice there's the source mixer there. So for me, it's kind of similar to that. I'm thinking, okay, what else? What else is interesting about this? Well, the selectable minus octave square 2 pulse minus 2 can do that also on MS1 from Behringer. Similar. Did they steal this design from Behringer? I don't know. But it does look different. Anyway, all I can say is it does look different. Does it have the same range? It has 2, 4, 8, and 16. Let's just go back to the Behringer one to see if that's got 2, 4, 8, and 16. 2, 4, 8, and 16. That's the same. It has dual pitch mod and selectable pulse width modulation. LFO envelope or manually, which I think you can do that as well. Now, where's my little picture gone for that?
That's right.
That's the VCO picture. Where's the modulation picture? That's the VCF.
Well, there's the first
envelope.
difference.
There you go. So there's your two envelopes. There's your first difference there. The analog filter looks probably to be the same. But this doesn't have the FM stuff that you get on the. So this has got the FM stuff here.
Oh yeah.
So that doesn't have that. Where was the filter? It was that one, wasn't it? Yeah. So you get the same. You're definitely getting the same features there on the filter. So 2 full envelopes, a little bit different there. One of the things that I would probably be very cautious of with any of these SH101 quote unquote like synths is how have they done the envelopes? Because you already know that Behringer have done a Mark II for their MS1, and it basically is around the fact that they stuffed the envelope up and a few other things. So how have they done the envelope would be a very, very big question to ask these guys. There is an audio rate syncopal LFO. So the LFO on this, I believe, is faster than what you can get on the Behringer, and Daren will probably tell me what the audio rate is like on the original SH101. I don't think it's that fast as at the LFO. I don't think you can go that crazy fast.
Well, Cinder's mine's a little bit awkward. It does go crazy fast.
Oh,
but I don't think it's supposed to.
The Daren special speed.
But they've got this particular company have got their own arpeggiator with up, down, random, and all that sort of stuff, and their own step sequencer. But apparently, it's like the Behringer one. On the back, there's some connectivity. Let's have a quick look at that. You've got USB-C, I believe, MIDI out. There's the hold there. There's your... I do want to mention one thing about this sort of slider mod wheel as a touch panel. Who's a big fan and who's not a big fan of that? Just out of curiosity.
I'm not a big fan.
Okay.
Of those type of switch
They're
panels.
cool until you hit them by
Yeah.
accident when you're playing.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm on the.
I I use the sliders on the EMOM when I played the other day. I like them. I like them for what I use them for, and I probably would dislike them for on a keyboard for doing your pitch bend. But for controlling other things, I think they're all right.
For me, there's a pro and a con for the exact same reason of these. The con is you can accidentally touch with your finger the mod, and it will stay in that modulation thing, and you're doing your head in. You haven't noticed that you've accidentally brushed your wrist over it, and you're thinking, where is this modulation coming from? And then you just realise you've got to drag your finger down to the bottom. But that's also a pro, because that means you can just touch, and it will hold that modulation at that point. So, for me,
on the AP64, it does have little LEDs, so you can see whereabouts it is. So that is a help.
Yeah, I don't know about the shininess of these either.
I think it's a bit of a pain for keyboard.
I like the matte.
I'm not that I'm a keyboard player, but if you are playing solos, I think the touch bends are a bit annoying, because you have a certain feel for a bend wheel.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
I'd agree with that.
The bend wheel
it doesn't bother me because I'm not a great keyboard player. So
the bend wheel on the MS.
I'm equally coordinated.
Anyway, I'm guessing this looks kind of iffy because it's a prototype, because the quality of the plastics is very bad in the pictures.
It's probably a prototype. You're probably right there.
Probably is,
yeah. Anyway, it was nice to share a few photos. These are actually all high-resolution photos.
It's annoying that it's small MIDI in and out, not...
Yeah, it's not that big. You should have a normal MIDI chip.
Yeah.
I am
gonna post these photos on my blog article so you guys can zoom in on them and things like that. So obviously in the show, I can zoom in and you can see all the fluff and dust all over those glassy sort of looking panels and stuff. I've done that already.
Did you mention
also, why isn't the USB in line with the jacks? Why is everything kind of off kilter? Right?
Did we mention the separation of the keyboard from the main module trick?
No, haven't mentioned that, but I'm glad you have, because apparently it can.
Yeah, that's what interests me. I thought, I can get it as a module.
That's just one thing to look at, but where it separates is not where the keypad itself is. It's a little bit further north, so you can see that line that goes across.
Okay,
That's where it separates. What I thought was interesting though with the keyboard is it looks so much like the IRA System 1 keypad.
System 1, flat, horrible keypad.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if it is. I'm wondering if they hadn't done a deal with Roland.
It's one bad thing to copy if they copied it. So
yeah. So
I told you I took it apart, right? I took mine apart, had triggering problems. It's put together like a kid's toy keyboard, where it's all plastic strip joined at the top, and little things dangling down.
It's
so cheap.
A Fisher Price one.
It's a little teeth dangling down off a strip.
Fisher Price keyboard.
Indeed. Indeed.
Have we any idea how much it costs?
No idea at all, because they haven't actually launched it. They are saying 2025, and we do believe that NAMM may be when they'll launch it officially.
Okay.
So that's the only thing I've got from this.
I have a thought. Wouldn't it be cool if they had like a triangular piece that you could put in between the keyboard and the main unit, so that it puts it on, but then it would look so much like a Behringer, like a Roland Boutique.
Yes. Okay, so for me,
you couldn't have that.
For me, I'm kind of wondering what the point of this is.
Yeah, why do we need another
SH101 clone? Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you can.
Yeah. I mean, you can get the Curtis chips now. The 340s, yep. They're, Behringer are popping them out like...
This is their first real synth, right? Everything has been like a drum machine or some kind of controller or something.
Yeah, they've done some guitars and all sorts of bits and pieces. They've done...
Yeah.
For a while, they've been doing all sorts of musical instruments, but not synths. I mean, if given the choice, would you buy a Donna or would you buy a Behringer?
Did they do a bass thing?
Yeah, they did the bass thing.
Yeah, they did the bassy thing.
Yeah, because they had a booth at NAMM and had a bunch of different stuff there, but nothing like this. This is a new thing. So.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is probably going to be MS1 or even cheaper than MS1 Behringer price. So, yeah. But
well,
it
they
may
seem
not.
to have made it. They've seemed to have made it so easy to compare.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that they're not thinking about it, pricing, position relative to it.
That's exactly right. I mean, there's my MS1. You know, and it's all analog. There's no patch memory or anything like that. It's, you know, apart from the sequencer, of course, but, you know, it's probably a lot closer to being an an SH101 than this is. So I guess what they're trying to do is like, oh, we like the SH101, but we want to add our little flavor to it. We think it needs another envelope, which it probably does, and a few other little bits and pieces. Detachable keyboard's a pretty cool idea. I like that. I do like that idea, especially if you hate the keyboard.
Also, the
And the
SH01A is a good alternative. People who like smaller stuff, and it's park bench compatible.
Yeah,
Darren.
I don't see this being
battery power yet.
I don't see this being a complete flop.
Yeah, where was that big sticker? Bang.
You need the stamp,
come up
park
with one
bench
of those
compatible,
brands.
PVC.
Yeah, Darren's park bench compatibility stick.
Stamp of
Start
it.
printing them up,
I
mate.
am a
Yes,
fan
we
of the
need- we
Roland
need a
S1.
stinger.
I think the S1's a good little thing.
Oh,
Obviously, it's a lot smaller, but sounds great.
yeah, the digital version. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I look to every time I see one of these things. I go, oh, I should get one. Oh, I do actually have an S1. I should pick that up.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's
I should
exactly what
pick
happens
that
to
up.
me.
Yeah, I should pick it up because
mine's like that.
you switch it on and just a little bit of effects, and it's like, oh,
I've got that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The chorus on it is fantastic.
yeah, it's nice effects in general.
What I love about this is it's 4-voice polyphonic.
That's true.
SH101.
So is
Yeah,
the
that's
S1.
true.
So is the S1. Yeah, it's
Yeah, the
exactly the
S1's
same. They're exactly the same engine inside.
Yeah, I believe.
All right,
probably
we should
are.
move on. Who enjoyed the little doner kebab L1?
Yeah, doner kebab.
Yeah, bit
Good
of
idea,
lamb.
just cheaply made.
I think you're
Yep,
right,
I'm
Andy.
good.
I think it's going to be cheap, nasty plastic.
Yeah.
I'm afraid.
Anyway,
But it might only be 30 quid. So
Oh wow!
Can they have a rack of them?
yeah, exactly.
Bunch of modules.
just giving the Twitch people a bit of love. All right, let's move on to the next. Sorry, Andy, got to pop you out of the way for a sec. This is an interesting little thing that I stumbled across. The Natir. How would you say it? N8IR. Natir?
It's probably a takeoff on Nadir, which is the opposite of Zenith.
Apex, Zenith, yeah.
Yeah, Zenith. Yeah. Which is probably what it is. Anyway, it's an experimental thing. I do have a little video. We can probably watch that. Why not? Why not, we say. Let's press play. Notice that it's got a teensy chip on the top right-hand corner of it. That's because it is powered by a teensy. It's a standalone experimental audio-visual synthesizer and phrase generator with a simple kind of design, they say, of interconnected audio and visual controls and a modular patch bay. I don't think there's much modular that I could see on there. But anyway, we'll see how that sort of evolves. So with those little two OLED displays, you're creating sort of audio visual patterns, which is powered by the teensy. And there's also some CMOS logic chips in there, which you can see on the PCV. This is actually an open source GitHub project. So it doesn't cost you anything to make this. if you have all the bits in your drawer. But if you haven't got all the bits in your drawer, obviously you have to go and source them.
Well,
I'll give you guys a bit of a look at the GitHub page while we're talking about it.
I don't
why
have
not?
all the
Graphics remind me of OP1 a little bit.
I do actually have a lot of those components.
You probably do. I've got
even
a
got the
couple of
OLED
Teensies
displays. Yeah, you got Teensy. I've got the OLED displays.
I've got the
definitely
OLEDs
got
as
those
well.
switches with the caps, with those particular caps on them.
This is the GitHub page, and if you guys are into this sort of DIY sort of project, he does mention that it shares work from a guy called Andy Merkin, and so he's giving him a bit of love because there's a lot of stuff that he's
credited
in it as well. But yeah, so you can go and download the code, the schematics, the whole kit and caboodle's there. So we can click on schematics, and we can have a look at,
.sch file. Oh,
PDFs. I'm not going to load it SCH.
That'll probably work.
Yeah.
Hey, that's my friend.
So you can build all this. You can send that off to a PCB developer, and like PCB Way. I mean, those guys hammer us with marketing.
Yeah, they certainly do.
Anyway, so N8IR, it's probably something that you can pop in, to check out box, I guess, if you've got one of those. If you're into that sort of DIY stuff. Look, this sort of stuff, I know Chris is interested. He'll probably go and have a little sneaky peek at this when he finds some time.
I have, and I've got to say it's not really exciting me.
Tell us why, mate.
Because in the audio demo, I didn't hear any filtering whatsoever.
I don't think there is.
Yeah, that's definitely a red flag for me. And I was also confused as to the video component.
The visual
as far
side.
as I can the visual side of it. As far as I can tell, it's the two OLED displays. That's going to go down really well.
Right? That's all you
it's going to go really well. That's going to go down really well during a gig, isn't it? It's like, look at my display. I need a camera pointing on that little display, and then it's.
But I can see it. Who gives a shit about you guys?
Well, this was what I thought was a bit weird. I thought, have I missed something? Is there a composite video out at least on this thing somewhere? I had an open mind, but the more I've looked at it, it doesn't seem like it goes past
was it just
a sort of
flashing
a
up,
personal project.
Was it just flashing up patterned images? Because it didn't look like it was transforming them between any sort of sound movement. It was just like constantly just flashing up.
And they weren't individual, were they?
It seems to be
simple. Screen.
Yeah, I think it was pretty simple palette of different patterns, and it'll select a certain pattern based upon a certain melody. So when the melody changes, the pattern changes. That's from what I could see by looking at it. It seemed to be that's what seemed to correlate with me.
I know where Daren's going with that though, because remember that module, Daren, that we saw a few years back, where it had inside the middle of the module, it had that visual thing, and then you could control the visual. You've got it, yeah. That's the thing I'm talking about.
Yeah, the Polygogo is awesome. Great sounds, and I spend most of the time just creating the patterns on the on the screen rather than
cool
tripping out.
So that's that's what I was assuming.
Well,
it was a random selection
this raises a point, which is maybe it's not for me because that's not what I'm into personally. So someone else may be really exciting to them because they have a connection with using interacting directly with it. Yeah. So
I kind of
the big problem I have is
it's not for everyone, but
I kind of like the VJ stuff. Like I feel that's cool, and I feel like there's definitely a future down modular and to get into the VJ. There's a whole. If you go down to Modular Grid and check out VJ modules, there's a whole literal corner for LED and manipulation from your eurorack. What I would like to see, and I don't know if this project, I haven't checked it out. This is not a slap at them or anything. This is just throwing it out there. I would just like to see something where if you're doing a performance, like say Daren's doing an EMOM or you guys, whatever, and you've got a module that does have these little sort of visual effects on it, and then you're manipulating them somehow and it changes it, and that, like a HDMI out on it or something, where you can just send it up to a projector.
You can use it an IZ for that exact thing.
Yeah.
So, connect your synth to your IZ and then your IZ to a HDMI out to a projector, and you can just let it go. Or you can manipulate it.
The Teensy doesn't have a lot of power in general, from what I understand. But I mean, it seems like they should have put more energy into the sounds than the visuals. Since the visuals don't put out video, don't waste so much time on something that looks kind of cool when the sounds are that kind of anemic, right? Like Chris was saying. Focus more on the sound and the manipulation of the sound.
It does. It seems to be between everything. It doesn't seem to be a great sounding thing or a great visual thing. It just seems to be.
No, it fails at both kind of. So.
Yes.
Oh dear.
Sorry about that. I mean, he probably spent ages working through it.
It's just honest, right? It's just opinions.
We probably don't understand it either, too. So we'll give him some leeway. Right.
But what do we have to go by? That's all we have to go by.
That's all. Well, I mean, go check out his GitHub if you feel like reading stuff.
If that was morphing between different visuals as he was playing those different notes, and you could patch that out onto a screen or something, then that would be interesting. But
it would
just seeing random visuals popping up on, I wouldn't say the best.
Yeah, because the video should entice you. I shouldn't have to dive deep to figure that out. I should say, "Oh, I really want this because of this, this, and this." And now I have to guess, like, well, what else could I do with it? I don't know. Now I have to read some document, right?
You have to read the code.
It doesn't do anything. That you want.
Yeah, that's not how marketing works. That's stupid, right? So...
Yeah.
Like the Polygogo when that was before it had relaunched. I went, I want that, and it was just for the first few seconds of seeing it.
Yeah,
I don't remember that
because we showed it on his show.
Still available?
Daren was going gaga over it.
Yeah, you can get it. Yeah, it's about 440 quid.
Yeah,
so it's about the price of an IZ. Then.
Well, it's different again.
You can't put it out on. Yeah, it's different than that, Ian. You can't set it out onto a monitor.
A graphic oscillator.
Yeah, it's different again, mate. But it is something that is interesting in its own right, and it's been around for a while too. So yeah. All right, we'll move on. Interesting project, but like, there's some hate. If you're watching this and this is an open source thing, add another processor on this. Put a little Raspberry Pi in there and add a HDMI out for those
video
OLEDs.
output or something.
Yeah, that might be the way to go.
A big 28-inch or 50-inch screen.
Like Daren's got. Daren, like, you guys don't know this. If you guys are watching Daren's show, right? Daren is literally sitting in his room. On the other side of that wall where he's facing is a massive, huge 40-inch screen.
It's lovely.
You're not wrong. There's two. There's one above each other.
Exactly. I've seen a photo of it. Right, let's keep going. This is by Flame Instruments, and this is the Black Filterbank. And it's a little video I'll show you. It's just audio only, but some visual effects. But a quick thing is, if you're wondering about this module and you're thinking, hang on, I know Flame have got a filter bank out already and it's called the Curves. Well, this is basically a little compact version. When I say compact, it's still pretty big. When we're talking about compact, it's like, what is it? I don't think they say it here anyway. How many HP are they saying on this? They're not. Why do they do this? Let me see if it's on Modular Grid. Why didn't I actually write the HP down? Anyway, while we're doing that, I will get the video up and running. You guys can watch that and pop that here. Anyway, that is the sound of this particular thing, the black Filterbank. As I mentioned before, it is a this is a. I'm pretty sure if I say this wrong, these guys from Germany will probably slap me. But I can't read German, so we don't have Andy on the show. But it's a digital module because they actually say that you can actually program this thing to do other stuff. There was a comment in here about what do you call it? I can't find it right now. There was a comment on there about the programmability of the module from behind anyway, and getting it to do other stuff, and they're going to release some source code and things like that for it. It's not on Modular Grid, so I couldn't actually find any more information out about it there. But I can tell you it does have MIDI in, which has the TRS type B input there. It has...
interesting.
I'm reading in German here. It has a analog clock in, a reset, so you've got some sort of clock generator. You can see them down the bottom there. 4 CV inputs, which are unipolar, which do different things. For example, envelope smoothing, variation type, and this is where the programmability comes into it as well.
Yeah.
And then you got the stereo mono. You got your filter controls across your different bandwidths. And obviously up the top are your system control stuff. And there's the sequence. It's like a sequencer. So if you guys know a little bit about those guys, Flame.
Flame's made some good stuff in the past.
Yeah. The Curves is quite a popular module. It's quite expensive though. But the Curves is actually... So this is why I'm not quite sure if it's totally digital. Because the Curves has analog filter channels on it, and this may have as well. And in fact, why don't I just, while we're talking about that, why don't I just double check
it?
Yeah, because there was, I need to make sure that I know what I'm talking about here. What I liked about it though is there's a few of these modules coming out at the moment, and we've shown a few on the show. Obviously, the one that's really floated my boat is the Erica synths one. I think a lot of people are very excited about that one. But we also saw a couple of examples. Even AM Synths had a Filterbank type module, and there's a few others that have come out. So there's another module I want to show you from these guys. But before we go across, I just want to quickly tell you about this. Now, I'm just going to go across to Synth Anatomy's page because he's actually done a full review on this. And I'm just going to have a quick read. Yes, it's 22 HP, which is what I wanted to find out. But what I want to quickly find out is this analog? Yes, it is an analog Filterbank. Oh my God, if I just read the friggin' module up the top, it actually says it on the friggin' module. Hello, slap.
The print is small.
We all did it.
Sorry, guys. I'm having an old man moment there. Yeah, it happens to
we all
everyone.
jumped into the same van as you and all look stupid. It's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Well, the laugh is actually there.
Clown part. We're in a clown part.
Hang on a minute.
I
Wait a
thought
minute.
that's all. Television. Yes, exactly.
Right.
Okay.
So let's see what he says about this. 12 filter bands, each with 24 dB slopes. The blank filter bank. I think he meant to say black filter bank there, Tom. Has operating modes low pass, all pass, and 3 different band passes and high pass. It's a fill function that allows you to run through the 12 filter bands, one after the other, and the analog signal path also has an input side to overdrive based on the germanium diodes. There you go. There's a bit of insight into it. It can be animated using the internal pattern sequencer, and you can load and save your patterns from a 99 memory location. The module also has, this is what I wanted to find out, it has a free software editor for creating your own patterns. Alternatively, the filter bands can be controlled with MIDI notes and velocity supported. So that means that you could put a sequencer into the sequencer. It's got an internal sequencer, and you can control it with MIDI notes, and you could sequence that. I thought that was interesting.
On my clipping cap module, they're pretty gnarly.
So this kind of just gets you thinking, okay, this has got some input manipulability in it that I kind of think that could give me some very interesting sort of results, right? Sorry, Andy, keep missing you out on this. Anyone want to have a quick chat about this?
It's interesting.
Yeah.
The video could have been better though. Show the stuff in action. Don't just show like a PXL 2000 video.
That was a music video, not a demonstration video.
I think it's very close to only just being released. So
How much are we? Do we know?
Yeah.
it does have a price. I can tell you that. Just waiting for the page to load. €499. Now that might include VAT and VAT or whatever you call it. So the video was shit. Sorry, Tracker Jake, don't blame me.
Similar.
But the next video
similar.
is going to be just as fun, and that's for this one, the FM Kosmos. I love that name, Kosmos. Someone told me off because I know one of my songs, Kosmos, and they said it's not spelt with a K, it's spelt with a C. You blah blah blah, and I went, I'm going to spell it with a K if I want.
Yeah, exactly.
Depends on the language. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And here we are with a module.
You should have said it's fart, mate, and yes, I spell art with a F.
PH. An FPH. This is a 4-voice, 6-operator FM synth. Where's Robbie? Robbie, come back.
He's in the chat. He was in the
He's
chat.
still modular. He won't care.
He's just repaired his mini book.
But he's not going to.
It has display.
It
has a display, right? This is digital. It has 32 algorithms to choose from. It contains a loopable envelope, ADSR type envelope. So very classic FME sort of stuff. But there's also a feature where you can morph between 2 sound variants within an algorithm, and separate adjustable effects can also be morphed as well. And each operator can be called up directly, and the parameters can be edited directly with the potentiometers that you can see there in front of you on just one page. So it's kind of like a cool little FM module that you can actually edit FM sounds on the fly, which is cool. Pity I don't have a friggin' video to demonstrate it, but I do have a video where you can actually listen to it. So we'll do that. Okay, that sounds very FME and doorbelly and stuff like that. But
no
there's
modular video again. What the hell's wrong with these guys?
Yeah.
120.
Why would you not video the actual item that you're trying to show?
Yeah, 128.
Yeah, you want to see both.
I feel give these guys a chance. This has only just been released. But I feel like that they will have videos once this thing
they could have
gets out
pointed the camera at the thing that they're playing with.
That's true.
Exactly. That's this. They have artwork. They have it. So.
It does look a bit AI generated, to be honest.
Robbie's gone back to sleep.
Back to sleep. That is not very nice at all, Robbie. Right. Let me just clear that. Okay.
It's
Let's
like,
have a little.
Chris, if you create something in your modular and you say this is what it sounds like, but not show anyone what you've actually created, just selling the sound, it could be anything.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not good marketing.
It's not good marketing, is it? Really?
Because you want to have the visual with the sound. So, that's what that
you
does.
do.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen the knobs moving and whatever. So.
That's just to all the people who are going to release a video with an instrument.
A little theremin action, yeah.
Can anyone guess what the next product is?
It's not the
theremin.
It's not the thing I saw.
I believe it's called a theremin.
It's the Thereminator.
I got that. Yeah.
And guys, what was I saying last week about prices of VSTs? What was that one that Arturia brought out? $199 or whatever it was. And I was kind of going off my nut about it. Well, this one is only $3.99 US, and you can have it on your. You can sit on the park bench, Daren, and you can have it on your phone, and you can make these little sort of.
But I didn't notice any. There's no MIDI section to this, right? I'm pretty sure there's no MIDI on it because I looked at it.
Okay, I can tell you a little bit about it. There is some
It sounds
interesting.
okay though.
There's some interesting stuff about it that I will tell you about right now once the page loads. It is obviously it's a version 2, so they've re-released this. The original Thereminator was brought in around about 2008, so this thing's been a long time coming. But this new one has evolved with a nice touch-controlled thing, which you just saw me doing on my phone. It wasn't a very good demo. I'll bring it back out in a sec. Which gives you helpings of tone, expression, and versatility and technology. It also has an on-screen, and they say this, and Andy, you're probably not going to like this, but they say this in their marketing. It has an on-screen MPE style controller.
Oh, there we go.
Right? Yeah. With brand new sound engine, fat analog tones, and many other advanced features. The Thereminator 2 is a monstrous plugin for your iOS, but also there is a AUV3 silicon support and more. It can come in as an instrument plugin now using special adaptations of the MPE protocol. The new plugin version can go directly into a DAW as well. Now, I've only got the phone one because I didn't have time to do anything else.
Well, there's no accelerometer support, right? So they kind of missed that trick, I think, unless I'm wrong.
Well, sorry, SH101 time.
Should have put that on a mobile device. You got to have accelerometer support.
Yeah.
But there it is there on my phone, and you can't hear it because it's not.
It's good for Halloween.
But it does have MIDI Learn on there. There's a little MIDI Learn.
There's MIDI. Okay, I didn't look that close.
It does say MIDI Learn on there. I don't know if you can see that. There you go.
Okay.
MIDI Learn.
Yeah.
Just for the knobs, right?
Not sure. I've literally had this for 5 seconds. But I just thought, honestly, $3.99 for an app.
Yeah.
This is, to me, this is what I was saying before about software development. This is what people will buy this product. They probably won't even care that they've chucked $3 onto this. And you know what? You could probably have a lot of fun with it. Ian, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, that's it. If you want a theremin, then, for that price, it's a no-brainer, is it? If I was looking for one, and I'm not, but,
and start whacking that through some effects and Bob's your uncle.
Exactly.
Well, why don't we check this out?
Also, to be fair, Ranzee, remember the iOS show that I did on here a long time ago? There are tons of apps that are cheap.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And good apps.
Excellent. Yeah.
Rolling. Keep those horses rolling. Roll high.
So you hear they show a video and then they show the
That was
product.
me, by the way.
They're going back and forth. Well, that was you.
That's pretty good.
Sold.
What's his name?
There you go, you see.
Sold. Absolutely sold on that.
$3.99. Seriously.
I don't need one.
Flying out the door. Seriously.
I know where to go when I do.
I have it, but I didn't play it yet. So.
This is by a bunch called Yonac Software. So Yonac is spelt with a Y-O-N-A-C. Yonac Software. Go check them out. It's in the App Store. If you're an Apple user right now, you can actually run it on your pad or your iOS device. I am going to get myself a copy of the AU V3 version, and I'm going to see what it can do.
It'd be fun. You can also run some of these things, like someone figured out the Sonority app and got it to run the Apple Vision Pro. So can you imagine this on an Apple Vision Pro with the goggles?
Wow.
I would like Ian to get it if he wants to.
That'll be cool.
And plug his instrument into it, and I want to see what it can do with the instrument.
Yeah.
I'll take that challenge.
Now you're talking.
Yeah. I'll
Challenge
do that.
accepted.
Yeah, won't be for next week though. I'm not here
This
next
will
week. I'm in London,
self-destruct.
so
By the way, it doesn't just do the standard whistly theremin sounds. There's a whole bunch of other sounds in there too, which I
but for
can't
2
be
weeks
asked going into
I'll
right
do
now.
that.
You guys can check it out.
I'll do that.
It's a no-brainer.
It'll be one of those things that Ian
We'll
comes
talk
back going,
anime.
I love that app.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, give them some love. You know, if that's
Trying to get
what
some
you want
internet
to
at the
do.
moment.
Yeah.
I can say.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just thought. I mean, two reasons why I grabbed it. I thought, geez, $3.99. That's what software synths should be. They shouldn't be breaking our hardware synth budget. They should be, adding to our software synth budget. But yeah, anyway, that's fine. That's fine. We can do that. That's it for the news this week. What was your most interesting product that you saw this week that you'd like to, out of all those things that I showed?
Module.
The which one?
Buchla module.
Buchla? Yeah, the complex wave generator.
The filter mod is quite interesting.
Yeah, if we could see it in action. Yeah.
If we can see it in action, yeah.
That had potential.
Yep.
Not the
Ian?
Donna, not the Donna. I don't know really because there's an awful lot of modular. So I mean, if I was into modular, it wouldn't be the Buchla.
There was an awful lot of modular.
Yeah,
And
It's
maybe the
definitely
$3.99
not-
app.
I am. Well, actually, yeah, I am here trying to buy it as we speak. So we'll go for. I'm going to go for the.
So Ian's gone for the Thereminator. I can't even say it.
Thereminator.
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 Say that when
Yeah.
you had a few too many Guinnesses. Max gone Buchla in chat. Tell us what else. Chatties. I've only got YouTube chat, so I apologise. But I can relay what the people on Twitch, if there is anyone in Twitch, is saying. Don't forget, if you want to send some love to the channel, you can do that via the streamlabs.com/Ranzee. You can do that little tip. It's called a tipping page. And the link is actually pasted into the YouTube chat there. But if you are wanting to do it just because you're lazy, you want to click on a link, streamlabs.com/Ranzee. I've just pasted it into both Twitch and YouTube. You guys can click on that. There we go. That would be lovely. And if you do $20 or more, it will actually read out your comment whilst we're actually on the stream.
Yeah.
There you go. Do you want to try that out? Give that a rock and roll.
News update on the Thereminator. I can't
Theminator. Yeah,
Theminator.
It's half price
right.
for Halloween.
Wow.
So
Okay.
the $3.99 is half price. So
Well,
it's
I
going
thought
to be
that was
set.
good.
It's going to be £8, which could break the bank.
Oh,
Obviously after Halloween.
Get onto it, people. Get onto it.
yeah. If it gets too expensive,
Get
go
in
get
your
Animo.
Terminator.
Animo's amazing.
Yeah.
Actually, I've already got Animo. Animo is amazing.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
In fact, they took the Animo sound set, put it in the Theramini. So there's a Theremin crossover. Now you can use the Theremin with Animo sounds.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Well, let's go back to the chatties. As I was talking before, a couple of chatties said Buchla and TipTop, same sort of thing. Crick and Buchla, please. Yeah, Crick. Geez, didn't that sort of turn some heads last week? The Crick at the.
Yeah, it did. It did. I never got near it actually, but
Yeah.
it was. There was lots of people. It was that was the hit of the show. I would have said.
Where are we? Where was I going to see it? Where was that thing I was going to say? Hugh, half god, half beast said, "I'm only interested in the Roland P6," and I was going to ask this question because last week we showed the Ableton Move, and one of the things that kind of went, oh, hang on, Rance, don't rush out to the shop and buy a P6 just yet because you might want to buy the Move instead. It's a little bit extra dollars. It's almost not quite double. It's probably like about, I don't know.
Yeah.
1.5 times the price, let's say. And it's probably not accurate either. It's probably a bit more than that. But I'm just thinking to myself that the Move is probably a little bit more flexible than the P6 if we're talking sequency sampler type engines, and being able to manipulate waveforms and that sort of stuff. Now, it ain't an MPC. It ain't. It's not going to. It's not going to excite me that much. In fact, I know the Zoom is. The Move is going to probably frustrate me because it is based on Ableton's Note platform, right? Which is iOS. And I actually don't have a Note platform myself. I only have the Ableton Live Suite version.
Note is fun. Yeah.
I have been told, and I don't know if this is of any sort of factual basis, that they are going to put granular and wavetable stuff into the Move through the Note platform. So that's what I've been told. I don't know how true that is, but there's been, if you look at all the general socials pages and that, you'll see there's a lot of noise about this stuff. But don't go buying a product in a hope that it's going to do something, because anyone who's ever bought Roland before knows exactly what I'm talking about. They will let you down.
See it, verify, then purchase.
I bought the Organelle on the promise that they were going to do Max MSP programming in it.
Yeah,
that's never appeared. Having said that, I love the Organelle, but that's why I originally bought it on the because that's what it was.
Is that still in the works, Ian, or is that a totally dead thing?
I've not heard anything. It's been so I'm assuming it's dead. I've not. It doesn't. It never appears. I get a weekly update from whoever they are, what the company's called. I can't remember what they're called now. But so
you're talking about pure data to Max MSP?
Guitar.
It's pure data.
Pure data.
Done in pure.
Yeah.
Guitar.
Somebody got to write an interpreter for that.
Oh.
And it would be license based too, from what I believe, and that might be the stopping block, because it might be expensive.
And Max MSP, because it's something Cycling 84, isn't it? They launched a thing called Rainbow, which is an extra 300 quid for a license for that, which means you can port Max MSP, which I haven't bought into all that sort of stuff, which seemed a bit excessive, really. When every couple of years you've got to pay for an update anyway. But I mean, I haven't done. I've never done anything in pure data, but it shouldn't be that hard to be able to take my Max MSP skills and convert. They are fundamentally similar sort of platforms.
I will tell you one thing about pure data. There are quite a few little pitfalls. Can be very frustrating. Yeah, right. Particularly when it comes to portability of pure data patches between systems. I've got that problem. I've got that problem with Max MSP now. I never used to. You've got that with any, But there's also pure data is a little bit more obtuse in terms of it has a few sort of caveats that it doesn't document, which can be very frustrating.
Well, it is free, so
it is, and development on it stopped a long time ago.
All right, I didn't know that either.
The actual and everything since has been created using pure data itself to enhance pure data, because that's the way pure data works, is that you can create blocks, sub-blocks and sub-blocks and sub-blocks, etc. Much like that.
So these guys that are making patches for the Organelle are doing a really good job, to be fair, then, because the quality,
experience,
but
experience and platform, because the platforms implement them slightly differently, and if you don't know what the little catch is for that particular platform, where if you do that thing before that thing and then that thing, you've got to wait for that thing before that thing happens, or it just doesn't work. It's that kind of stuff.
Join us on Zoom, guys. There's a link in the chat for both Twitch and YouTubers if you want to click on it, or there it is there. You can type that into your browser. It is free to join us, and we're about to enter into the free-for-all part of the show anyway, just after we get through one last segment, which we all love, and that is chucking the sledgehammer into the TV segment. Indeed. Don't know about scammers this week. We maybe. We'll start off with this one, hey? Let's start off with this one. This is the Korg X3. Who's got a Korg X3? Anyone?
No.
Ian?
No.
Nope.
No, never had one, actually. I've got a lot of Korg since, but I've never had an X3.
Yeah. Is this auction live? You betcha it's live on eBay right now. Let's go across, head over to the desk. Let's have a look at some photos. Oh, lovely.
Like
Japanese.
the panels on tatami mat there for
Yeah, the Japanese
framing.
art in the background.
Yeah.
These are like a really flat-looking synth, aren't they? Like it's almost like a car ran over it.
Yeah.
It's almost perfect that it's on a mat.
Yeah.
It's like a synth mat on a mat. Don't know what the difference between, other than the shadow of that photo
Intrigue.
to that photo.
What is going on there?
Did it? Good one, Ian. Hang on a minute. Wait a minute.
Guess what I just bought? And he works in truck.
Ian, I think this photo before was this.
That's definitely more than a Dutch angle. So
Yeah.
There you go. Get yourself a Korg X3.
Yeah, I never liked an X3.
It's a Rompler, right?
Yeah.
It's got the
Looks like a
PCM
laser
cards that you can put in it from memory, right?
Yeah.
Does this come with any? That's the question. Does it come with any PCM cards? It is the... Look, the difference between this and an M3 is miles apart. But it does have the old floppy disk drive. That's how you know how old this sucker is.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot. Is it the sound set of the M series, or is it the M1, or is it later?
Battery low. It's got the battery problem.
Battery problem. Easy fix, though.
Yeah, be careful when you get a
battery
synthesis battery low, because my D50 said battery low, and it was because of leakage inside.
Oh, that's not good.
Not just a battery low. There's something else wrong.
Yeah, there is. I had that with my MR3, actually.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but we saw that picture. It said battery low, but then you see this. Tested and confirmed to be in working condition. So,
well, it will work with the battery low, but
that is not true. There. It's not working condition if it's got a battery low error. Sorry.
Well, apparently
yes,
it has
as you said, it's only a warning.
Yeah,
I would like the X3.
You'd like
I love the 01W. Well, the 01W engine, AI2 synthesis. So I love that shit. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean, you've got an M3, haven't you?
I do, but I'm saying because it's specifically AI2, according to what Dead Man Walking said. Yeah, that 01W sounds awesome. I mean,
those are all 90s sounding piano sounds in them. That if
I'm
you
more
play
into
them,
the weird spacey stuff and all.
Oh, the way. Okay, they're the
orchestral
PCM
stuff's
cards.
quite good. Yeah.
Anyway, next. 1,060 schmackaroonies from the United States of America. You can get yourself one of these. This is a Studio Electronics rack-mounted MIDI Mini, which is basically a Mini Moog.
Oh, yeah.
Right? When these guys were doing Mini Moog clones, okay? This one is also available on the fabulous eBay. Big hello to all my eBay fans out there. Don't really know what that means.
You have fans?
Yeah. People that have bought shit off of me.
Followers on eBay.
Yeah.
Yes.
But anyway, get yourself some knobs and twiddle them with this baby.
Great. Plenty of knobbage, isn't there?
Lots of knobbage and switches. MIDI Mini.
Lots of toggle switches.
Yep. There you go. There's the back of it.
Oh, yeah. Trimmers. We like trimmers. We need trimmers.
Serial number 1284 for those playing along at home. From Encino in California. There you go. Bit of trimmer, as you guys said, trimmer spots. And you got a few extra bits and pieces in the case as well, which is nice. So there you go, people. $1,000 is yours. I think $1,000 is not bad, actually. Postage
cheap, yeah.
may not ship to my lovely place here because I live too far away for anyone to give a shit. But yeah, go get yourself one.
That's his official name.
That's too far away for anyone to give a shit.
We live
acronym
in
that,
too
couldn't
far.
you?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Team Valley, Southern California.
AKA Perth. Yeah.
Yeah. Based on your location, we consider you too far away. So bugger off. No, next one is MozLab 5-year modular 900 series. 2010 is the year that I believe they brought this sucker out. This one's on Reverb. According to Reverb, it is 6,000 Australian dollars. Halve that for pounds if you guys are interested in pounding it. There are some photos. We should check them out. It's like a suitcase modular, right? With really long, skinny modules. I don't know. I kind of like the old. What do you call that sort of style of knob with the? Is it just the paintwork that they've put on the decal to make it look like that, or is it the actual knob that's like elongated like that on the where the oscillators are top left? I think it's just the paintwork, isn't it? It's too hard to tell.
Top left.
Not the. What do you call that knob?
The pointer
on the VCS3 vernier or something.
Oh,
Vernier have the fine tuning built in, but
vernier knobs. No, they're not vernier
maybe.
knobs. Okay.
Yeah.
They did look like it from a back, but it is just paint on the panel itself. See how you got the two rings of information? It's just very, very technical looking.
Yes. Scientific looking.
Yes.
Looks like a scientific instrument because of the amount of legending.
For those who like to look at the backside of a synth,
well, that's actually
drilling right now.
It's been fairly well treated.
It's quite clean though, isn't it?
Yeah. So I was thinking.
Yeah.
Definitely not gigged, right? Road worn.
Indeed. Right. Well, that's the MozLab 5-year. Anyone got a MozLab modular? I don't know anyone who has got one.
No.
They're not that common as far as I know. So that may be on your list to get. Let us know in chat if you've got a MozLab. Bert says it's not a bad price. If Bert says it's not a bad price, it's amazing.
It's not a bad price.
Yeah.
Got a Mos Eisley lab.
Let's go to this one. The Kruma Spirit. Yeah.
Reissue.
Yeah, it's a reissue, so it's going to be new-ish.
I'd have the thing underneath
That's the one co-designed by Bob Moog.
What's that underneath it?
I'd take that any day. The thing underneath that, not the other thing.
Me too.
Someone needs to learn to crop his photographs.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, 2 oscillators with nothing really sort of special to sort of run home about with this thing, other than the shaper thing, which a lot of people tend to like about it. I don't know. I just never really fell in love with the Kruma Spirit. I didn't think it was anything fantastic.
I just never see him anywhere.
Apparently they only made 100 of these according to this Reverb listing. He says it's an insane synth, super underrated. So why are you selling it? Why are you selling it? All right, other than the fact that you probably need to pay off your drug debt or whatever it was.
Wow.
Just kidding.
Cut to the quick.
All of those listings, by the way, are available in the... we do the jokes here, don't worry about that. Are available in the blog article every week. And if you guys don't know what the hell I'm talking about and you think to yourself, what's this guy talking about? He craps on all the time about blog articles. Well, I will show you. Head on over to ranzee.com. That's right. Do that. And then you can see, look at that. There's last week's blog article. That's, I will mention too, while I'm here, before I go into the blog article and show you, that I have put a post up in my blog for the Bob Moog Foundation. And the reason why I've done it is because they were actually damaged by Hurricane Helene, and they've got a lot of bills to pay to get this thing back up and running. There's a whole bunch of windows and signages. And
Michelle was saying there's a soft open coming up. So they've done some repairs, I think.
Yeah. So if you guys want to purchase yours, there's not that long to go actually. I think this closes in a couple of days. So get yourself
28th.
a ticket. It's literally only $25 US. And if you're wondering what it is in Australia, it's about $34 Aussie. So it's not too bad. Anyway, you can find that on my website. Click on that. I don't get any kickbacks or anything like that. It's purely just to help them out. So do check it out. Anyway, blog articles.
Yeah, and Ken wants somebody to buy it in the UK. Somebody
No,
to win
he's
it
going
in
to
the
be
UK.
posting it to me.
Because no, I thought he was posting it to me.
And he actually told me
Although
off.
I was going to get him to remove Peter Gable's signature. Nothing. No, I'm joking.
Yeah,
Clean it. Yes.
I'll get some.
Just clean it first. Oh, we've
Get
had
some
it.
white
Yeah,
spirits
yeah.
and wipe that off.
Yeah.
What is this gunk? No.
Yeah, somebody's written on this.
Where's the sledgehammer? No. I think honestly, I think if I did win it, Kent would probably chuck something else in there, like maybe the broken Elka.
Put some plectrums inside of it.
Anyway, this is the blog article. We are sort of digressing. This is what you see every week. There's links to all of the video guests that you see, Daren, Andy, Ian, Chris. There's a replay show link you can do. There's all the funny side pictures that you can click on and download. Look at that. I've even done that again. See?
Yeah.
Ableton Move. We talked about that last week.
Yeah.
The TC5000. Geez, wasn't that an interesting product? We talked about the ARC, which is that Make Noise Maths competitor. Geez, I have to say that video was quite polarized. A lot of people didn't like how I was getting on about software synths calling things analog, and I was just having a bit of fun. Anyway, there's the crick, which I really, really liked. I thought that was a very interesting thing. And like I said to you, every single time we do Price Watch, this is what you get. You get links to all of the reverbs and stuff like that, and you can also click on the images that I use in the show. There you go.
Kept in perpetuity.
And it stays there forever and ever. That's it.
Well, until the actual links on those sites go down. So.
Until we lose the internet forever.
That's why I do the
The
pictures.
screen.
Yeah.
I was going to say that's why the screen captures.
Yep. And also, a bit of information as well is in there about every product that we show, like the price and things like that. And the cool thing about that is, what did I just miss? Something? Janice Roberta is now following us there. Thanks, Janice. Good stuff. So if you're in Twitch, you'll see those notifications come through on your screen. If you're in YouTube, you'll just think, what's he talking about? That's because we're streaming on two platforms, people.
It sounded familiar. That sounds like Twitch. Yeah.
Now, speaking of people wanting to be on the show, we have got one sitting patiently in Zoom. We're going to have to click audio buttons.
Knock.
Yeah, he
Who's
did
there?
knock on the
Who's
door.
at the door?
All right, hang on. Just give me a sec. Don't be impatient now, okay? Just give me a sec. I'll get it in. I'll get it happening. I've got to go into layers and where are we? Put that one in there. There. And look at that.
Hey,
Robbie's here.
Roberto.
How long have you been sitting there for, Robbie? Ages.
Snap.
G'day, mate.
He wants to talk about the FM modular stuff. So.
He does not. Actually, I've got a picture for Robbie.
He's going to show you he's actually bought it.
Robbie, this is my modular system if you're looking at it from upside down. I know you love that sort of stuff, mate. I just thought I'd share that with you. I like to tease.
That's the Prozac for his generation.
How are you, bud? You good? You've survived? You finished fondling all your emulators? Can see it, mate. It's a thing of beauty, isn't it?
Yeah. I see. I didn't say that in my video about the fat no chairs.
Oh, you'll do another video now,
No
Ian.
chairs.
Yeah.
So I missed that. Did they not allow stools or anything? Or
There was no chairs.
Were you told not to?
No sound on the stream. Seriously?
Oh,
What?
Eh?
Can't hear Robbie, it says.
Oh.
I can hear you.
I
Yeah.
can,
Rob,
yeah,
can't
we can hear you, but we can't hear Robbie.
Oh. Is
pantomime.
that a Zoom thing?
He's definitely.
Well, we can hear you, Robbie.
That would be weird because everything that comes through my ears are going out through the other thing. That is actually bizarre. You can hear him, but not us. Okay. Give me a sec. Let me see if I can work it out.
And in the meantime,
Quick, turn on the subtitles.
Yeah, yeah.
I love modular. Modular, I'm getting into next. That's what you just said.
Is this a pub now? Yes, Matt Evans, it is.
Why is he not being able to hear? All right, try that. Talk, Robbie.
Testing 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Tell us in chat if you can hear
30
that.
seconds.
I love modular, and modular loves me.
Yeah, you can hear. You can hear. It's coming through on mine.
So,
Damn,
right,
they heard me
you know
say
that. You know that Matt's
All right.
clipped that already.
Robbie, we're going to do this again. Here we go. Pretend that you just
Okay.
joined the
Yeah,
show. Hey, Robbie, how are you, mate?
Hello, how are you? Oh dear, oh dear. Well, that was fun.
Yeah. Robbie just told everyone about how he loves his emulator behind him, and he was practicing all the Ferris Bueller's Day Off skits that he could.
yeah.
I was talking this morning to the guy whose coughs and sneezes are the ones you hear in Ferris Bueller.
Oh, wow.
That's
Wow.
funny.
I know.
That's
Kevin
that's
Monaghan
impressive.
from you used to work at EMU. It was him, and
Oh, so they just used a standard sample set, did they?
yeah, I think so.
Wow.
That's brilliant.
Mental.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
So, yeah,
Their choirs were sampled at the UC Santa Cruz.
a lot
Music
was done in
thingy,
Santa Cruz.
so.
Yeah,
It's all local stuff. Yeah.
Indeed. Indeed. I'm wondering if the reason why... What's that?
So now, Man with Beard was asking where the DX1 has gone. It's right there.
Ah.
It can't hide. It's
too
not
big to
able to
hide.
be
It
hidden.
can't run either.
No.
It's too heavy. Yes. During the week, I got a little excited about playing with something that Korg made that kind of doesn't really get a lot of love for some reason from me anyway. And it's not because I don't love it, it's because I just don't use it enough. And so this week I pulled it out again. Yep. I flopped it out onto the table and I plugged some things into it.
I'm glad we've got video.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
It's okay. Use careful use protection.
If you're
Powerful but
wondering,
fiddly.
it is this baby here called the SQ64, and I don't know why. Every single time I show this thing on the show, I get people messaging me saying, "Oh, I can't get my head around this thing. It's so hard to use." Blah blah blah. I actually think it's one of the easiest sequencers.
It's not hard to use. It's just fiddly.
Well, wasn't it better when they updated the software on it?
Well, they did. They
got
made it a
better.
little bit better. But yeah. But the only difference between me doing it last time and this time is I've decided that this time is all control voltage and gate based. So there isn't any MIDI happening on it. Although I do have MIDI connected, and that's purely just to take a clock signal.
Yeah.
Yep.
I sometimes do it that way.
But yeah, I mean, some of the cool things on this is like the shift features where you can go from, triplets to polyrhythms, and then you've got different types of sequence modes here, and it's all written like, in front of you. So all you have to do is to say, okay, well, that track there, I want that to bounce. So just go bang, and now a little thing popped up on the screen, and now that thing's going to bounce. I just think it's very intuitive, and you've got are very compact. This is actually tiny, If you're looking at this, the sample
Yeah,
track.
I've got the
next to it.
SQ1,
It was
which I know
cheap
is
too.
not quite the same. But yeah, it is.
It's smaller than the Beatstep Pro, isn't it?
Well, there's the SQ1 there.
Yeah, that's the one I've
Yeah.
got.
Yep, absolutely. Another brilliant product by Korg.
Kosh
But-
has just asked a question I was about to ask, and how does this compare to the Arturia keystep or Beatsteps?
Well, there's probably one big difference the Keystep, or the Beatstep, I should say, has, and that is
Pads.
Those pads on
Yeah.
it.
Bangy pads.
But
Finger drumming pads.
it's only got 3 sequencer channels. On
Keystep
this.
has 4.
The Keystep Pro has 4, but that's quite expensive. That Keystep
That's what I
Pro.
mean, Keystep Pro.
Yeah. The price of the SQ64 versus the Keystep Pro is like massively different, and it's a different body. But if you're looking at size wise, I just want to give you guys, you can see that is quite a lot bigger size wise.
That's what I thought.
Look-
That's definitely an advantage sometimes.
I like both of them for different reasons.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the Beatstep
It's
will do certain things that I like better, and I think the SQ64 does things that I like better.
Yeah, those pros have secondary functions all over them, just like the SQ64 has. So you can hold function buttons and do all that stuff. So
There's a little bit of menu divey stuff in this,
it
which
is, yeah.
it's not too bad though. It's like there's the screen there, and there's the encoders that correspond to the stuff that's on the screen, so it's not too bad. I don't find it bad at all. I can run.
I made a hardware jam with it like 2 days after I got it, so it's not that hard to wrap your head around it. I just didn't find it as rewarding as the Keystep Beatstep Pro.
You can see it running in the background there. And the cool thing about
It is very
being
powerful.
on modular is that you can manipulate your modular as you're doing it. Turn things off. Or you can turn things off here.
That's the best bit about modular, you can turn it off.
It's made for that.
Yeah.
That's true of many doorless jams, I would have thought.
Anyway, so I just thought during the week, give the SQ64 a little bit of love, and just doing that. And at the same time, I thought, I showed you this during the show, I will give my MS101 a little bit of love as well during the week, because I haven't actually used this. Not a bad product made by Behringer, to be fair.
Here's a question. Can anybody definitively tell me what the difference is between the Mark II and the Mark I MS101 if they're both updated to the latest?
No, because you can't update the firmware on the MS1 Mark I with the MS1 Mark II firmware.
But they've just released the MS10 or MS1 Mark I firmware update, which apparently has fixed a few things. It's made the transpose work just like the original did, and so on.
So
but I just wondered
programmed...
what is exactly the difference between the two machines, or is it just one of those things that was driven by component availability and they've just had to?
It's a bit of both. It's component availability. So the processor that they used, the chip, the brains, was an ARM Cortex M3, I think, if I remember rightly, for the MS1. And obviously they started to become unavailable because they're just old and not used, and they're very limited in terms of space and memory on those things. So I believe that because they were doing a hardware revision on the MS1 Mark II, and they had to fix the envelopes on it. So that was one of the major fixes between the two, and they're trying to get the envelopes to be in tune more with an SH101. So technically, if you've got the I've got the MS101, I've got the bad envelopes, right? That's right. If you want to say it that way, but it doesn't really make a massive difference. You may not notice it, but people who have got SH101s definitely notice it. So they'll notice that the envelopes don't behave quite the same. It was a bit like the Glee mod that they had on the Pro
100.
Yeah, it's a bit like that. So
I did the side by side between my MS-101 and a real SH-101 when it first came out, and I could get them both sounding exactly the same.
Yeah, you can.
I mean, I wasn't pushing it in maybe the sort of ways that a lot of people do, but to be fair, it was pretty damn close.
It is. It's insanely close. So we are really getting quite very minute differences here. And I think if Behringer were to be really honest with people, which may be a struggle for them, they probably should let us know exactly what the difference is. They actually write it in their friggin' website, because they haven't. They've just told us some marketing crap on their, buy the new one. The new one's better.
I was looking at the hardware and saying, well, all of that's there and all of that. It's identical. On the surface, it's identical. So I just figured it was probably an internal thing, whether it's a component. I know like Korg updated, the wave state and the was it the optics and the mod wave they updated to Mark II simply because they were running out of the old boards,
the processing,
the new ones. Yeah, so I guess it's just that, but it sits at the top of my shelf and it very rarely gets used now. But
a lot of people that have SH-101s are in the same boat. I know people that have got SH-101s and they've been sitting on shelves or in cupboards for many, many years. They've just held on to them because every now and then they'll pull it out and they'll do an SH-101E thing and then they'll pop it away again. So it's not a bad thing. I'm the same, Robbie. Mine doesn't stick out much either. It's funny though, but when you do bring it out and play with it, they're a massive bit of fun.
Oh yeah, they're great fun. They're simple. That's what they're beautifully simple. It's a great design.
One of the guys in chat said the updated the oscillator. I read. He said James in chat was saying it. I don't know if that's true because they've got 3340 VCOs in the original, and that's a Cool Audio chip remake. So unless they've stuffed something up big time on their 3340 chips and they've remade them, I guess it's possible. But I never ever read that. Link us to that, mate. I'd love to know if that's true or not. I mean, the big thing about the 3340s is when Roland used them, they never had the triangle waveform. And then all this FM stuff you can tap into as well.
That was the Nova mod, wasn't it?
Yeah. So obviously that's not on the original. Robbie, what did you think of the Doner Kebab L1?
Do you know, that's a really cool concept, I think. I don't know whether it's been executed maybe as what's the word I'm looking for? Donner, the Donner brand, they're owned by Amazon, if I'm not mistaken. So it's kind of like an Amazon thing. But they seem to have a bit of money behind them to come up with this stuff, and I think that's great that you can just snap off the keyboard and then snap on another synthesizer. It's when they bring that out. So I quite like it. I haven't really, were there any audio demos? Because I don't think
there wasn't.
Heard it.
No.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see what they sound like and how they behave.
Yeah,
but clever idea.
We just had a bunch of high res photos that we were able to sort of flick around and share. I was curious about the keybed, because it just really looks very similar to that Roland Ira System 1 keybed with that sort of flat, almost sort of triangular looking black key. I don't know if you've ever touched a System 1, Robbie. They're kind of
told off by something.
You can just tell by the key distance. The black and white keys are there's a shallow difference between them.
They don't have a lot of play in the pressing. The travel.
That too. They're like kids' keyboards.
And a lot of people who have had them like me for many, many, many years, they're noticing that the keyboards are starting to not work properly as well. And you have to take them apart and clean them and stuff.
I mean, they're obviously built to a price point. So, but all this stuff you hear, it's Chinese, it must be rubbish. No, there's good Chinese stuff as well as the bad Chinese stuff. It's not just all rubbish. So there's very good stuff. And so I don't know.
Well, Apple stuff's made in China.
Well, yeah, everything's made out there.
Cars are made in China. You're probably driving half China in your car.
Robin Vincent had one of those Donner bass. Yeah, it was a bit like a 303 thing. Yeah, he thought it was really good. So proof's in the pudding, and we'll see when people get their hands on. It'll be interesting to see what they like. But I think the concept of the replaceable synth engine or the replaceable keyboard, whatever whichever way around you do it, I think that's great because now they've got a platform they can just build bolt-on things, and you can just say, well, today I'm going to play an SX1, and tomorrow I'm going to play, I don't know, an MS-20 or something. So that's
it's their form of plug out.
Yeah.
I was just kind of thinking when you were saying that, Robbie, the other thing that kind of makes me laugh about this is another Chinese company has ripped off Behringer.
Yeah, well, that's what's so great about it. Yeah,
I'm just thinking,
very meta.
Almost copied everything that Behringer have done with a few minor differences, and and go for it.
See how they like it.
Yeah.
Good luck getting their lawyers to do anything over in China. So
it's like reminds me when I went to Hong Kong in the 80s, and you bought the Copy Rocks Rolexes, and it depended on which guy you saw down the street. It's like, don't go to that guy, go to that guy. He's got the better ones. But,
they tarnish less.
Yeah, they don't fall apart after 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing, I guess, that I think we should probably talk about is the ARP 2500 thing, from Analog, fantastic.
It's so beautiful.
It's fantastic, isn't it? Let's grab the photo up from last week. I noticed that he's released another bunch of photos this week with the wings. The wings on, yes.
Well, when I spoke to him at Synthfest, I was saying, right, okay, what's next, wings? And he goes, funny you should say that. He said, I've got some mock-ups, and that's what we're seeing at the moment. But yeah, I mean, he's all in on that, and it's such a beautiful thing. It's all about the interface. None of those circuits are clones or copies or inspired by ARP 2500. They're all his designs. He's taken all of his favorite ones from things like the Colossus and the Maximus and his smaller stuff, and he's just taken those circuits and then just adapted them. And he said this is about paying honor to the interface. And he was really very very keen to get that across, and rightly so. It's a great.
I'm a little confused though. Like, I mean, not in a bad way. Confused in a good way. And that is that obviously the original Matrix was a slider switch, and it had kind of like little sort of
detents
that as you pulled it down, it went click, 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 and that's how you got to the part that you wanted. Whereas this is a VCS3 type Matrix with the pin, and which obviously that gives you more flexibility because you can put multiple pins in, right?
You can also put different resistor values in the pins.
Yeah. Which technically
those
should be
sliders,
the colours, right?
Kent will tell you those sliders there was an incredible amount of crosstalk between them.
Oh, there were,
and also they would end up, because it was a big mechanical thing. Yeah. So eventually those detents would soften up and they wouldn't sit quite right. And so it's funny because I sent some pictures around as soon as I got this. And at lunchtime on the Saturday at Synthfest, my phone just blew up, and it was Dina Perlman. And she was like, Rob, tell me all about this. What is this thing? And so I had to give her the whole lowdown on it. And when I told her, I said, it's pin matrices. She goes, wow, that's perfect. That's the absolute ideal solution, because it'll be more usable and it will last longer. And it's built by Tom, so it's a no-brainer, really.
Nice.
Yeah, and I think the other thing to mention too is that he, as you said, Robbie, is that he's designed these modules with his own circuits, right? And and he's probably put his own flavour to it. And maybe in that case, was there any mention about any sort of engineering improvements to the original? Because as you know, Rob Keeble from AM Synths, went to a lot of effort to reproduce the 2500 modules for Eurorack for Behringer, and obviously he's gone off and done a whole bunch of things for himself as well. So was there any mention about like why he's gone off and done his own? Was it kind of to improve it, or just to make it more unique? Or
the first when I said, look, tell me why you've done this, and he said, lots of people get really hung up on making sounds and having the right oscillators or the right filters. He said they get hung up on all of this stuff, and he said what they seem to forget is how we interact with this stuff, how that stuff is presented to us to allow us to manipulate. A lot of people seem to have forgotten about the interface. And he said, I always loved the 2500 interface. So that's where I started with this thing. I wanted something that was as good as the 2500 interface, and that was the 2500 interface. So how could I improve on that? And so that's where he brought in the pin matrix, and the pin matrices on these are bigger than the steps on the original, so you've got much more scope for modulation and stuff. But as far as the actual modules, the filters, the oscillators, the effects, the sequencers, they're all his design, but he's built them in such a way as it pays a visual respect to the original. So you got the nicely colored knobs, and again, that was another great thing of Alan R. Perlman's design, was the use of color. The way that everything's color coded, and so what is working with each other. It's a very clever system. So he's paid respects to that. So it's because the Colossus, everybody sort of looks at that and say, well, that's the Synthy 100, but underneath it's all Tom's circuitry, it's all Tom's designs. It's just he saw that as an interface and created something along those lines. So it's more about how we use these things rather than what's behind the panel.
The other thing too is I would be betting that Ty has put an order in while he was there.
So here's the thing: Ty rocked up. Yeah, he rocked up with Pip, bless him, and he came to our stand and we had a little chat. And I said, "Have you been to see Tom yet?" He says, "No." "Is he here?" And I said, "You don't know, do you?" He goes, "No, what?" Oh, this is brilliant. So we walked him over to the stand, and as we rounded the corner and this thing came into view, he goes, "That's the 20. Oh, Tom." And then they start talking, and he was, I kid you not, he was literally bouncing on his toes like Tigger. He was like this. What's this? And there were discussions. So I imagine
the credit card came out of his back pocket.
He needs room 5, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Studio 5.
Yes.
Yeah, he needs to build a bigger studio.
But it was brilliant to see somebody so giddy.
I would have been giddy around it. I'm an absolute massive fan of the 2500. You guys know that. I would love to get my hands on one. There's only a handful of them in the world. So, but I actually think it's quite genius what he's done. What I would like someone to do, and I think if you guys go back to some of the earlier shows, we showed the the Behringer modules. I don't mind them being Behringer modules because Rob was behind it. So it's a project that we should still be proud of. It's a bit like the Behringer, the Neutron synth. It was made in the UK. It's something that we can be proud of, as it's pretty decent quality. But I think they should do like a VCS3 style matrix for Eurorack, so that you can actually build a case with the the Eurorack modules, and for people that don't have 22 grand to spend, because let's face it, not all of us do. Well, I don't.
No, one of us does, and his name's Ty Untman.
Yeah, and and Tim's probably building these things to spec to various people as they come in order to order, right? So they're not flying out the door. But I would love to see, and we were talking about these pin matrices during the show because we noticed that the Crick had it in there as well, and the guys that do the Crick, they have come from a Eurorack and a desktop modular type synth building sort of pedigree. And if you actually think, the Crick itself is literally a whole bunch of their products that has transformed over the years into this, and it's kind of like an amalgamation of all their knowledge. And that thing is insane. Yet again, it's another pin matrixy type synth, and that's your modulation point. I do like it. I think it's, I don't know about you guys. I mean, Rob, you've got next to you, you've got the Polybrute, right? And it's got the matrix on it. That matrix is not a pin matrix; it's a button matrix, and it works a little different.
It's the same principle.
It is the same principle.
It's the same principle, but yeah, I mean, you can, and I've got the matrix brute over there now as well, which is even bigger in terms of the matrix and what you can do with it. And it is, I think when I first got the Polybrute, the original Polybrute, it took a little getting used to doing things that way. But once you've got it, and once you once it clicks, and it doesn't take long to click, it's like, oh right, okay. And then you can start whizzing around, and it's almost muscle memory where you can just, do that thing. It's dead clever. It's really good. And I think the pin matrix, the whole mod matrix thing in a physical visual way is very easy to. Well, it's easy for my brain to get. When you get these synthesizers where you've got all these slots, but you have to sort of scroll through and then put that there, and so the actual matrix is somewhere you can't see it, but you're having to drop things into slots. I sort of get a little bit confused by that. So having it all visual is just great.
Yeah.
Rob, there's a couple of questions in the chat about Studio Logic. Were they at Synthfest? I don't remember seeing them. Do you?
No, I don't.
I was just looking for my program because I still had my program somewhere, but I filed it away somewhere.
I don't think they were.
I don't think they were there. I don't remember seeing them.
Before we go off on a tangent, Ian, sorry, I just wanted to quickly finish this conversation about pin matrix, right? So we were talking about Crick and the future sound systems, and I was saying before how that thing was kind of like an amalgamation of their products. And Wagoo beat me to it in the chat. This is what I wanted to show you guys. They've made this module now for a few. I remember showing it when they first released it on the show, actually. So you can get a 9x9, 81 point pin matrix for Eurorack, and it's only £115, which I think is actually really cheap. And obviously, the way it works in. So it kind of where it gets a bit sort of tricky is, okay, so if I plug something in, is this passive? Is it active? Is it like, you've got to sort of understand what's behind it. Is it a VCA based matrix? This is using the 2mm banana test plugs, and you can actually buy it both either a passive or an active unit. So you can upgrade if you buy the passive model, you can upgrade it getting the MTX 9A card. And the other cool thing I like about it too is you can actually write on it with whiteboard markers.
Yeah. Yes.
Dry erase pens, as some people call them as well. So you could possibly do, I mean, visually it's not quite looking like a 2500, but you could definitely go down that route.
Functionality's there, though, isn't it? Nah. Andy's muted.
You're muted, Andy.
Andy, muted, mate.
You're doing all this, but we can't hear you.
Sorry. Hey, I'm voguing here. Yeah, sorry. There was that giant system you could get for routing stuff. I forgot what it was called. It was a standalone system. It was a Kickstarter. You guys remember that, with the giant pin matrix with all the cables going in and out? Someone in the chat is going to know what it is. But you've had it on the show before, at least once. But that was a way to route not just modular stuff, but like entire system through a pin matrix.
Yeah.
Remember that, Ranzee?
I do.
It's like $1,200 or something like that. It was kind of expensive.
It was expensive, yeah. But yeah.
Just need to kill service on my thing for now. There we go.
Guys, I'm going to have to run, but it was great to catch up. I've got to go and pick my wife up. So,
yeah, absolutely, bud.
Thanks for letting me drop in.
Lovely to see you, mate.
Yeah, likewise. Good to see you all.
Take care, Robbie.
Nice set, by the way, Darren. And yeah, See you all soon.
Thank you very much, Robbie.
Definitely.
Seems
Safe,
like
mate.
I got a plan.
Catch you later.
Bye-bye.
Now, we do need to talk about
Yeah.
Daren's set.
Mm.
So,
Does he want to talk about it?
no, he does. I'm sure he does. Because he posts it on his social media. So let's have a little chat,
Yeah.
Daren, about your set and
Right,
tell us
right.
about how it went, and then anything else you'd like to add.
To me, it went just okay, I suppose. It wasn't quite what I was intended to. The first thing that had happened is I got there early, so I unpacked everything because it was quite a big rig and case to carry. I unpacked everything, I was setting up, and I put my in-ears down on a table to the left of me. Carried on unpacking it, set it all up, and then couldn't find where to put my in-ears, which was a major panic because I need them desperately. So that amped the tension up for a while. Eventually found them, so I thought I was quite calm by then. But by the time I put the set up and I was actually ready to play, the in-ears wasn't working.
Oh.
So I'd switched everything on because I'd been on holiday. So the thing was, I'd shut all the case down. I haven't practiced. I've shut it all down. We've been on holiday. We came straight back from holiday, and as we drove past the house on the way to Derby, I picked the rig up. So it hadn't been opened or checked or practiced or anything. So when I got there, I set it all up. And some of the MIDI didn't want to work neither. So I had no in-ears, and the MIDI wasn't working. So I rebooted it, and I think I got some of the MIDI working. But I just said, sack it, we'll just go with it. And it was basically half jammed and half sort of... I knew what I wanted to play once I switched it on because I didn't know I was going to play before I switched on. So it was sort of half jammed because I had no in-ear, so I couldn't hear it. And the sound coming back, that's why I need me in-ears. And it was quite... You probably can see on my face if you see the video. I'm like, it's just not working. So, but the lights worked.
Yes.
Apart from right at the very end of Dreams, one of the lights went, but it's got a bit of a dodgy connection. So from the back, I couldn't see that. But I was definitely blinding people. So I think you seen that, didn't you, Chris? The light.
So is that DMX rig?
It is, yes. I've done a
There's the
little
light.
bit.
It is, and
We'd like to, yeah. I'd like to hear a bit about how you control the two DMX lights. What are they being driven by?
it's
DMX
DMX.
control of some kind, or?
it's DMX, and also I'm also controlling those two light tubes are USB.
Ah, yes.
So I'm actually
One's on the
controlling the
outside.
USB via. Yes, there's actually space for 8 light tubes, which are going to go across there anyway for when the set's proper expanded, so that I can actually play proper visuals with the light tubes because they'll all be individually. Each light tube will be individually MIDI'd
Gotcha.
via note, so it's all note MIDI'd. So there'll be a sort of more of a stagey sort of theatrical thing to it when it's all up and running. But this was just a quick dump in the bag. Because I've got to program the MIDI for the lights, you see, so it's all programmed in for. So each.
So you've got
have you
got a MIDI to DMX converter or something? Do you have a MIDI to DMX?
Yes, MIDI to DMX converter.
Okay.
And
so this is all new to me.
And it's also MIDI. Yeah, so it's MIDI to DMX, and also it has a MIDI out for USB. So I'm firing off.
Oh, okay.
So like I said, the light tubes are getting note, for instance, note MIDI is firing off the
tubes or
the light tubes. So like C1 will be red, C2. Well, it's not, but each note on the keyboard is for a different color, basically. So if you combine like C1 and D1, you're going to get red and blue, and so on. So I write the whole MIDI section for the lights that fits in with the MIDI sections for the music that I'm playing and the audio.
Cool.
Hence
so you just launch them like clips.
Snare. Just launch them like clips, yeah. So I can just trigger off that set. So that was working okay. Not that I could see it. Everyone was getting blinded by it, but it was working okay. It was just. It was just
the cameras
MIDI and
usually
the effects
go nuts
and everything.
anyway.
like I say, yeah.
How long does it take you?
So.
How long did it take you to set it up, Darren?
I set the frame up before because I was there quite early. I was there. It started at 7. I was there about 6:30. So I set the frame up with the lights on and everything, and put it to the background, and I just put my case on. So it was probably about 20 minutes. I wasn't like rushing to set the case at the stand up. No. I was just basically thinking around. So half an hour max, I would say, if I was rushing. It was just getting everything on, because the small space to get everything on is the main problem.
That's half the battle,
it would be so much easier, because I was saying, if I go to a smaller EMOM, I'm going to have to probably drop the lights because of the weight and the actual trying to setting them up, which is somewhat. That's why I'm working with the light tubes to get rid of those 2 big DMX floodlights, because they weigh quite a bit. So if I take them off and just use the tubes and a case with a 19-inch rack MIDI controller to DMX, or to, well, it won't be to DMX, it'll be to USB lights. Will work.
I was going to ask, can you control the brightness at all, though? Tubes or not with DMX, or is it only the color? You can't control the brightness with it?
No, the velocity. Yeah, I can control the brightness. The velocity of the key is the amount of brightness. So
cool.
Okay. Yeah, so 127 is like full on. Because on some of the set that I played for, if you watch the Derby EMOM, I don't know if you get the right visuals, but there's a lot of fading out and then banging in.
Was it Wednesday or Thursday? Because I haven't watched it yet, but I will watch it.
Thursday night. I played
Thursday night. Yeah,
I played just before Jim Glue, so I'm at the back end of the show.
Right.
Second to last. Jim Glue played after me. Yeah. So you'll see the panic when the camera's on it. I'm just looking, going, I can't. You'll hear me doing. You see me doing this a lot.
Well,
I
I completely agree with you about in-ears, because I always take my in-ears, but I always take an extra pair of headphones just in case something happens to me in ears, because I need the sound out front. The latency it can be an issue, can't it? Do stuff.
The thing is, at the Derby is an awesome setup and awesome speaker system, but I was sat onto the right hand side, so I've got a wedge right by my feet as well. So I was getting
the thing, you can't.
Mine's all timing based as well, and I've got a lot of controls that I'm messing about with to get effects and everything, and I couldn't hear anything in my in-ears. I was trying to look at my blue box to see whether it was extending anything, but this is all like on the fly. And then I've got the wedge at the side of me, giving me another timing issue. It was completely. It sort of worked. I mean, everyone liked it. It was just that we're like, we're perfectionists. It didn't go out our way.
I mean, we don't have any wedges. There was no wedges for us at Wells last night, and James and Ken, who ran it, did a really great job with visuals. They had a screen behind us. I'll show you, like I say, I'll show you some video at some point. But you can't rely on the sound just out front. It sounded great out front, because when the drums kicked in, I thought, bloody hell, that sounds so much better than it did in the studio.
Exactly. I was the same boat, because I was thinking, I thinking, this doesn't sound quite so bassy, but everyone's like, Jesus, this is bassy.
Yeah.
I'm like, trying to press the in-ear, thinking maybe the in-ear's like really faint.
It does show you how optimized sound systems in clubs and venues is for the listener position.
Yeah, definitely.
It's definitely a science.
And then obviously I had the lights to control. Well, I wasn't controlling. I could control the lights actually, because I had the AP64, if you noticed, which was controlling the Micro Monster on some of the set, which was. So I was using the strip pads for the cutoff and the delay and reverb on that. So that was quite useful. And I want to try the lights.
I want to try the Micro Monster 2, because I had the Micro Monster 1, but I thought the MPE on it wasn't great, but I believe they've improved it an awful lot. So I am on the waiting list for one of them.
Don't forget the DMX output on the OPZ too. You can control DMX. I have to buy a module for that, but you can do it.
I just wanted to introduce some light. I wanted to introduce more, because obviously you can't see me behind there, which is a good thing. So I can't see when everyone's going, "What? This is rubbish." I just looked. I can just see, not have to see them. Yeah. And with the lights, you
so
see,
Daren,
that's
did you say some of your
else,
tracks
so
didn't go
can't
through?
see
Were
me.
they muted? You had some failures on some of the tracks?
No, they weren't. It was no. So listen to it. You'll think it's probably okay, fine. It's just that how I wanted to.
Because I've actually had modular
I
voices
knew-
go
I
out
knew
in
what
between
wasn't.
here and going to the venue, and I'm like, half my thing is missing because the stupid something happened in transit. You know,
like I say, I had issues with just using an iPad, and I was only using three synths and a looper, but having issues with one of them, not loading properly and then just stopping. Luckily, it was right at the beginning, and the drums came in right at the beginning when they shouldn't have done. But my approach usually is whatever happens, just go with it. Try not to get fazed by the fact that something's gone wrong.
Yeah, well, I did. I had to on the second time because the first time I booted up the Force, and I realised that none of the MIDI was transmitting for some reason. So I rebooted it, which is the little break that we had, and I assumed half of it was working and some of it wasn't because some of the things I was doing wasn't being transmitted via MIDI, whereas others was. So I'm not sure what was causing it. It was just one of those glitches because it was working fine 2 weeks ago when I packed it up. So it obviously got frightened, which sort of made me go, "Oh, what's going on?"
Just see what Bert said. If everything fails on stage, you can always play some Thereminator.
Thereminator, yes.
Well, it's on here. It's on here, and I will be connected to the instrument.
Well, that's what I'm downloading just in case anything like that happens again.
Yeah. The app that did fail, and each time I've even in testing it failed, it was GeoSynth actually. It was the one that was connected to the instrument practically every time, and it was right at the beginning of the set when if I changed the sound, it would just disappear. Reload it, and then activate it back in AUM, and it worked perfect after that. You're muted, Andy.
Andy, you're muted. Bit like I was.
Sorry, there's some noise here. I tried using GeoSynth. I mostly use it on the iPad directly. I don't use it connected to anything.
I normally have in the past when I've done every other gig I've done. That's the only app I have running, and it works perfectly. But trying it in the AUM, it clearly is. I mean, to be fair, I've done that now. I've done a set which would be just an iPad. I won't do that again. I'll use other stuff. But it was just an experiment.
Great, but
yeah.
By the way, Daren, I put the EMOM link in the chat so people can watch your performances.
Yeah, right.
All right. There's a load of great acts on anyway. I mean, Simon Greatbatch there. There's loads. It was awesome.
Yeah.
The almost last.
Yeah, the Wells one had lots of really good acts as well. There's a kid. I think he was about 14. This lad. He had a SP404 Mark II. That was all he used. He came with his dad, and his dad sat at the side, and he was just absolutely brilliant. It was so great to see a young lad just really getting off on doing some electronic music. He was fantastic, So
it's cool.
I'm just putting background music while you guys are chatting.
Yeah.
As you're going to demo something.
Anyway, Ranz, was you going to ask a question, by the way?
Mood.
Did you say?
About your rig?
I don't know. You brought it up, or was it just a general chat?
Oh no, I just knew that people would be interested in hearing from you because obviously you posted a few pictures on your socials and things like that, and obviously then there was a few pictures about the lighting. So I just thought, have you chatting about it was kind of definitely worthwhile.
Yeah, Andy Brooks with the so I was blinding him with the lighting. Yeah, that was cool. That was definitely some seriously kick drum.
You should have told him to just look at his GP82 at full brightness.
Well, Andy and Grace played.
I actually
it
think
before,
that he might have trumped you there, Chris, on the brightness scale. Yes, I think
you've out-brightened my Eurorack module, so congratulations.
Can't seem to pop in. Oh, why is it not working?
The good thing about it was it blinded everybody, so when I came off the set, no one knew I was actually playing then. They were saying, which one was that then? Because I can't see, I'm blinded. It wasn't me if it didn't go well, and it was me if it did go well.
Yeah, there you go. You can reveal it was you if it went well. Turn your lights down at the end. Okay, I can see it.
Yeah. So I have got. Like I say, I am going to go 8 light tubes rather than the 2 big,
cool,
sort of floodlight ones. I mean,
they're kind of a bit too dense. They're kind of too dense visually, and they're better at sort of spraying out color to something. I think those ones are used quite a lot for area lighting, like in functions and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well,
even though it does have,
it's just that them. It's just that them fitted on the rig quite nicely, and it's basically a trial.
They did look cool. It did look cool. It was exciting when I saw it.
Yeah, I mean,
good on you for doing lights as well. Because I have to say, I haven't done that. But good on you for doing lights. I think that's
Well, I said maybe it becomes more of a stage set rather than an EMOM set, which is a bit. Like,
it adds a complexity. Adds a level of. It does add a level of complexity to everything, doesn't it? You know, so good on you.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I didn't think it would be so much, but when you're actually on the night setting it up, getting it right, controlling everything, then you start realizing you're thinking, this is quite a bit going on here.
Yeah.
Kent has just
I'll listen to it,
dropped in, guys. So we're just going to pop him into the corner.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, check it out. Let me just fix this up.
Never. One thing, Daren, is never underestimate the whenever you're playing new music, people will sometimes don't care what the technical issues are because they're hearing new music from you.
Yeah, it's true.
I know that was a factor for me.
Yeah.
I just enjoyed hearing the new music. So.
Plus, I mean, like you say, they don't know what you're going to play, so.
No, I mean, last night Jane was getting slightly irritated by people talking at the back of the room, not just on my set, but on everybody's set. You know, and it just makes you wonder about. I mean, you know, I know people, you know, if they're not into it, then
is it worth it? Are they actually listening to it or not?
Yeah.
Well, the technical thing that does suck is when your music isn't played right because of an issue, right? You're missing notes. Missing tracks. That sucks.
Guys, let's say good day to Kent. He's popped into Zoom.
Hey, man.
Oh, hello. How are you feeling? Mr. Kent, he's gone.
Are you better?
Yes.
Good. Still on the mend. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out how you reverse the camera on this thing.
It's an iPad, is it?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can
if it's on Zoom. I don't know if you can.
I don't think you can.
You probably can. I don't remember the control though.
All right. Okay.
Hang on. Let me just let me Google it.
Probably a sub menu somewhere. You got a
iPad
like they do on StreamYard.
Reverse.
Got to look old.
It's just the camera, Kent.
Zoom has the ability.
It's how you feel, Kent. Though it's how
if you're using the Zoom app, you can switch the camera. There's a thing in the top left hand part of the screen. Where is it?
Sometimes you have to tap the screen to wake up the charms.
Oh, all right, wait a minute.
Yeah.
There's a little camera thing icon. There you go. You got it.
Hey!
Oh,
did it.
My work here is done.
Oh, wow.
Right, you ready to see a look?
SCM goodness.
Ooh. 4 voice. No, 8 voice.
8.
Oh,
8 voice, my friends.
Is that big fellas?
Mm-hmm. This belongs to Tiny, but it's been hired out. Oh God, since he bought it.
Yeah.
The bands that have used this would make your teeth curl.
Yeah. I know the history behind it because
it's massive. Yeah. Look. Wait, here we go. That's turned down.
It's so much fun, isn't it? That.
Yeah. Wow. It's a beauty, but it's really, really temperamental at the moment. Every now and again, a Sen will go, goodbye, or I'm going to play 2.5 octaves higher than everybody else. Bye. And it's all down to this.
So down to the processor, yeah.
Oh, all those wires.
Oh.
The voice controllers.
Plugs, connector plugs, they're just awful.
Yeah.
Just absolutely awful. So I've got to
old Molex
connect the wires directly to the boards. for a giggle.
Oh.
So
wow, those stacked
go.
boards looks like a car park.
You can't modify it to use like an IDE or anything like that type connector.
The pitch is odd, isn't it?
It is odd.
It's not 2.5. I think it's 5.
Because you can't use ribbon cables because you got to split all the wiring up. But I understand that. But
yeah, no. Actually, the easiest way of going about it is to literally cut all the plugs off and then solder the wires directly to the boards. It's the only way to get around it.
Yeah.
Because when they get to this age, a bit like me, bits fall off. So but I am working on a 4-voice at the moment where we're bypassing the programmer and putting we're trying to design a new programmer.
Cool.
Because of the really, really rare RAM chip.
I see.
That's in them. It's you can't get end of. But then we were then trying to figure out a way. Well, nearly figured it out to CC every control as well.
Cool.
So that it can be controlled via computer or another keyboard or a controller of any description. And been working on that for 18 months, and I'm sick of it, to be honest. But we're getting there. So thought you'd like to see it.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, that's a treat.
I did. I just want to do a quick segue. You stay here, please. Kent. It's not going to take long. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a look at. You guys know Mac or Macrodos in the chat, or Stephen, as we all know him. This is his website called one of his little side businesses that he's got. It's called musicmerch.me. If you want, I'll put the link in the chat in a sec. And these are a whole bunch of t-shirts that he's done. He's got the Eurocrack t-shirt here. He's got Give Me a Sign synth t-shirts. And if you actually scroll down a little bit, he's actually done Synth Geekery t-shirts, which you can buy now. There they are there, the Synth Geekery shirts. You can get the black or the white. And on the back has this really cool logo. It says everything in modulation.
That's quite good.
So you got the Synth Geekery on the front.
That's
and
the BIA logo,
on
isn't
the
it?
back.
The BIA artwork?
Yeah, it's a little bit like the Make Noise.
It does a little bit Make Noise, isn't
Noise
it?
engineering stuff.
Yeah. let me paste that link in anyway for you guys.
Cool.
I think it is. No, it's not that.
Have to get one of them.
Yeah, I definitely think that we should send him a bit of love. Yeah, so he said maths. Why did I just post that for?
Is maths? Oh, okay.
Remove.
There's a lot of those things on the BIA also. Those weird markings.
Visit site. There it is. Copy that. I just posted the wrong link. There we go. So it's in the YouTube chat. I'll do the same thing for the Twitch viewers, just so you guys can go check it out. But don't do it now because we're in the middle of the show.
I got a post-it note. It's on the post-it note.
Musicmerch.me. I think I've spelled it right for the Twitch people.
It works.
This is just for Twitch. Cool. All right. So definitely get yourself some of those.
You need to throw your synths at the screen shirt.
Yeah, we're talking about a few ideas. So the problem with me is I just get so busy during the week with other crap. I just can't. He has trouble trying to lock me down, and I feel bad for the guy because it probably would be frustrating to try and lock me down for answering questions and stuff. But we managed to get a few conversations going through during the week, and he's come up with that, and I think it's brilliant. So for the first cab off the rank, anyway, we'll get some merch happening. And this is what I said to him like ages ago. I would rather someone else benefit from the merch, and help feed kids or whatever in their family than it going to some sort of conglomerate company that does generic merch. I'm not really sure how some of these places work. So for him, that's kind of what we talked about ages ago. And maybe this might take off for him, and maybe some of the other.
It's pretty common. I have friends with
synth
channels that
tubers.
make their own T-shirts.
Yeah.
So it's,
Yeah.
Oh, he's onto it. So if you want him to design stuff, he's pretty clever. So check him out. And he's in chat right now.
Well, I've got some ideas for him. I hope he knows how to print very, very rude words.
I'm telling you right now, he's definitely not shy about putting rude words on T-shirts.
Oh, good. Because
Yeah,
I want to
he
get a
has
DX7 one that I'm going to wear when I see Robbie.
Oh, I've got a photo for you. I have a photo for you, Mr. Kent. Right on that topic. Oh no, it's definitely we can share it. Where does it go? Where does it go? It's not a pub one. Give me a sec. I'm just got to save it into the thing before I can put it into the show. Right. There is the photo, just for Robbie. If you don't know who that is, that's Trent. He's trying to break his DX7 in half.
Nice one.
Mr. Resner.
Mr. Resner. Yep.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do like that photo. Sorry,
That's a
Robbie.
lovely photo,
Robbie wouldn't even know that we even talked about it because he's been on the show. He's like, done that. I'm now picking the wife up. He wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
And then I'll get a message during the week. You bastard.
Been there, done that.
Well,
it's only fair because guys break guitars at shows over the years.
Jane says thank you for the anniversary.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know where I am on the screen, but I should wave.
Hello.
Everybody's waving.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, sweetie.
Hi.
Cheers.
Thank you, darling.
Yeah.
Like I do.
You don't get what? Sorry.
You don't get a slap in the back of the head like I do.
Oh
no, she loves me.
Brings me a coffee and slaps me in the back of the head.
Yeah,
she does that off camera.
My favorite,
it's not on camera.
My favorite, my favorite tea, and
oh, you're
the mother of dragons cup.
I got told off for eating today by mine.
What?
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so what? Shall I just starve? Okay.
I got told off for breathing.
I can't work them out, mate. I can't work them out. Yeah.
I guess it depends how you're eating. Yeah.
No, like literally, what are you doing eating? I'm like, because I'm hungry.
Oh.
I'm hungry?
But it's dinner time.
You hungry?
No, you've already had something to eat today. I said, yeah, that was like 9 o'clock this morning, and it's like 7 o'clock tonight.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Just sneak your snacks.
Oh, yes, we've seen that before. What I was going to mention is during the show, you're probably hearing some sounds and things like that. So we've got Twitch. Don't forget now that is part of the stream. So you will hear some odd sound effects pop in, and if people follow and join and all that sort of stuff on Twitch, I could probably turn some of these sound effects off, but Twitch people are from a different universe, and it's not. This is not a dig at them or anything, but they do like their Twitch, experience.
Feedback.
So it's a little bit like YouTube. How YouTube has super chats, it has the live chat on the right, things like that. Well, Twitch has its own sort of little miniverse that people behave in. So if you do see some weird sound effects, see some weird pop-ups and hear some weird sound effects, it's probably the Twitch people. And I think just over time we're going to get used to that, because so far I'm kind of happy. It's very low-key at the moment on Twitch. I think I'm only getting like 5 viewers on Twitch, so it's not like it's viral over there.
It's taking off, Rant.
One thing about Twitch is the people who record their Twitches to YouTube is the chats that stay on screen, so you can read it in the video.
Yeah,
they're multicolored, so that's really easy to read than just one block of the same color text.
Yeah, I mean I can do that as well. There's all plugins and things that I can do that with. But I don't know if I'm quite ready to have it looking like a game channel, like a gamer's channel. Do you guys know what I'm talking
political
about?
channels
don't you?
like that too.
Well,
Yeah.
But Rant, you've already got the gaming chair.
I do. The course, what's it called?
So it would
He's
actually
got the
look
chair.
completely
Well,
right.
you guys know my son.
You'd blend right in.
So,
Exactly.
but I mean, I've got my Stream Deck
That's his
here,
excuse.
and I've got my 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 buttons I can press. Even got the old famous Pop Will Eat Itself sample.
Too much music.
There we go.
Excellent.
So slowly getting there is kind of what I'm saying, guys. So if and the thing is, I kind of feel like there's a movement with people with platforms, and you guys will have like anyone who's like an old fart like me will notice that things don't stay around forever. You guys might remember MySpace. How's MySpace going, you guys?
Friendster. Yeah. Before that was Friendster.
Right, Napster.
Well, I don't remember
so
Friendster.
Things don't hang around every week. But I feel like people are getting pissed off with YouTube or Google taking too much of a slice of the donations that people are giving, and those donations they're not giving them for YouTube to get fat and have pizza every day and wear board shorts and Hawaiian shirts. They are giving it to the people that are actually making the content. And for them to take 30%, I think it's a bit rich. So
that's why people do Patreon. They don't do the YouTube chats.
Yeah. Well, this is why I'm doing the Streamlabs, because they give you a platform to take tips, and they only take 3% as opposed to 30%. I think 3% is reasonable. It's kind of like when you go to a shop and they charge you a credit card fee.
It's like a credit card surcharge.
Yeah. So I kind of feel that's reasonable. So yeah, there's a link up the top if you guys want to do it, and it's really easy actually. When you do it, you can actually you can do some kind of funky things like add a animation GIF and make an effect, and I'll show you guys can see it. You can
drop a funny joke.
You can fill a whole bunch of stuff out here when you click on that link, and that will appear on the show, and
cool.
Yeah. Type your message in there.
Also remember though, Apple takes 30% on your iTunes uploads. So
it's more just me. People are donating to the stream anyway, so it's more just me saying, put the money in a better sort of channel.
Yeah,
is kind of what I'm saying. Like try not to scare people away from doing it, because that would suck. Because I need to keep the lights on here, sort of thing. But even Streamlabs actually cost me money to run. You can run Streamlabs for free, but you don't get these features that I'm showing you, like multi-streaming, the tip page and things like that. So you got to pay a subscription for that. It's not that bad, but Zoom is not free, and so all these things cost money for the the show to run. It sucks that they cost money, but
or StreamYard. I mean,
StreamYard costs money. I'm not using that because I use
the free one's okay, but you run out real quick of the features. So
yeah. The only reason why I pay for Zoom is because if any of you guys want to stay on for more than if it was free Zoom, I can only have you on for 40. I think it's 40 minutes is the maximum.
It's 40 minutes.
Yeah. Whereas because now I'm on a business plan, I can have you guys on. I think it's 3 days. I can have a Zoom call going for 3 days straight.
Yeah, it's like seminar mode or something.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's like 100 callers and stuff like that. So it's kind of, these things are there for people to use, and we don't have to have just 6 of us sitting here, or 9 of us, or 12 of us. We can have 100 if we want. I don't know how that's going to happen, but it would be a bit hard to manage. But you could do it.
Tiny versions of each.
Tiny little like thumbnails, like those icons just there, like that size.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, enough about that stuff. I think it was pretty interesting. So yeah, during the week, I've been playing around with those sort of platforms and just trying to configure them. So just bear with me over the next couple of weeks, months, as I start to learn a new system I'm still using vMix behind everything, so I've still got all my the whole show is still run through vMix, which I don't think I'm going to move from, because I think it's superior with all the stingers and that sort of stuff. It's just superior. Nick Batt uses vMix. Robin Vincent uses vMix. So you guys know who's using vMix in the background.
All right.
Yeah. So the only negative thing about vMix though is it runs on Windows only. You can't run it on Mac, and you can't run it on any other platform. So that is kind of sucks, because this during the week, I don't know if you guys have got Windows computers, you would have noticed that there was an update during the last couple of weeks where they're forcing you now to use their AI system. I'm not gonna name it because we don't want to give them any free advertising. But I had a problem with this. I come from a cybersecurity background, and I got a massive problem with an AI engine sitting on my computer.
Yeah, it's been annoying.
You can disable it, but I'm telling you right now, I know Microsoft, it won't be fully disabled. And they'll probably try and swear black and blue that that's not true, but it was like, what was the other thing? Cortana? Is that what they had before?
Yeah,
Cortana?
it was the original one.
Oh, yeah.
It was a pain in the ass, that thing. It just like every time you did an update, you told it to go away, and you do an update, it would come back, and you'd be like, you guys really want me to use this piece of shit thing? So,
like
path of least resistance.
With the knife. Like the paperclip from Microsoft Word. Do you remember that?
Oh, the paperclip was just...
That's what he means by clippy.
Paperclip, spiky hair, and a leather jacket. Oh, good.
Yeah.
No, I heard that.
How can I help you today?
People were losing a lot of SSD drives through it.
I heard that too. Yeah.
Disconnecting or disappearing altogether and couldn't get them back. Weird.
I'm certainly glad I'm no longer in the Windows the Windows environment anymore. I have got an old Windows computer if I absolutely need to use something, but
I don't think it matters which side of the fence you stand on. If it's not one thing, it'll be
Apple will probably do it.
No, you're right. Actually, I switched on my Mac this morning, no sound, so I rebooted it.
Welcome to my world.
I'm actually thinking of going back. I mean, I'm an IT guy, so this is not scary at all for me. But I'm thinking of going back to my main desktop being Linux, Debian, which is what I've used for many years. If I want to use Windows, I can just run a little virtual machine inside. If I want to run, I'll still have my Mac because there's nothing I can do about that. But I can run Windows inside my little Linux machine, and this is kind of where I want to go. And then that way, if I need to run the show, I can run it through a virtual machine, and then I can shut it down when I'm not using it. I'm not have to worry about, you can firewall it up so that it's not sending data to Microsoft that you don't want them to do. Well, it's shut down. They're not going to get anything, are they? So this is kind of what I'm thinking at the moment.
We had a French guy at a company years ago who refused to use Mac and PC, Mac and Windows. He wanted to use Linux on his Dell.
Yep.
And it's like, all right, support yourself then. I know some of it, but you do your own stuff.
Well, I've got friends that use it, and there's nothing wrong. They can watch videos, they can play. It
does everything.
They can put Steam games on there and have all their favorite games, like what is it called? Call of Duty and
Call of Duty,
TF2, all those famous games that people, Portal, all that sort of stuff. They all love it.
Sure,
you can do it. And a lot of the Windows-based games will run on Linux as long as it's an Intel-based Linux machine, because it uses the Wine through Steam, the app itself. It's got the Wine platform in there, so you can actually install pretty much anything to a degree. There's some things you can't.
I think you can go to GOG and actually download Linux versions of games too. So.
Well, yeah, as well.
I've got a question. Every week, when Daren's on, his studio looks exactly the same as it did the week before. How do you manage that? How do you manage to get your studio to stay exactly the same all the time?
Oh,
because that's not a studio. That's a green backdrop.
It's just wallpaper.
The green screen, isn't it?
It's a giant blind he pulls down every Saturday night.
Mm-hmm. He's actually.
I took the picture when I first. I took the picture and that's it. It just stays like that now. Just before I come on this, I'm looking at the. Oh God, that's got to be in that position. That's got to be in that position. Quick.
You guys saw my stream when I wasn't here with Henrik in my studio, which was kind of bizarre looking. It's freaking a few people out.
Good. That's a long way to fly just to go.
It's perfect. There's no blinky lights.
I've also just noticed that my brand new Synthfest 2024 T-shirt has got a swear word in it.
Oh, really?
I like that. It's not really.
Yeah, that's why. I think that's the reason why you wore the vest. Yeah,
that's not swear word. That's punctuation.
Is that what?
Yes, exactly.
What's
the
that
full stop
clothing
at
label?
the end of a sentence? Yeah.
Isn't there a clothing label that's almost the same as that?
Yes. SCUK.
You don't need to say it.
Yeah.
I don't French Connection.
I don't know
what it is. I've got some
French
T-shirts.
Connection, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very 2000s, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Ian, is that?
Yeah, go on, Daren.
Have you got it open to that angle so that when some item comes on, you just lean back and go, oh.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. They go, oh, God, that.
I made no comment. I simply opened my waistcoat.
Yes, I'll just do that. Yeah.
Yes.
That's going to be in me now. Every time you're going to have to wear that now. Every time there's an item you don't like, you can just go like that.
That's it. Yeah. And the waistcoat.
Well, ask Ian.
Yeah.
Ian doesn't give a. It's lower.
Exactly. Yeah.
So there you go, Kent. You could.
That's the third time I've sworn.
You could get Mac to make you that shirt.
Yeah.
It'll be in my opinion.
On the pub with. Yeah, on the pub was trying to make me swear one night.
The new motto for your business: bring me your synth if it's.
Better still done.
Yeah. Cheers, that needs to be D. That's the other side. D. Yeah.
I was reading the other day the YouTube terms of service. They've updated them. They send you these nasty emails, and there's a lot of words we can't say. We can say them, but if we say them, then they're saying, well, we can do things to your stream, and yeah. So one of them is that famous thing that a type of movie that people watch to stimulate themselves. It starts with P and ends in ORN. Yeah. So you can't say that word anymore. You have to say
PR0N. Can you say that?
You can say corn. You're allowed to say corn now.
Yeah, but what happens if you're talking about the shop?
Yeah. How are you going to say pawn shop? I'll say corn shop.
Or the chess piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. King's Knight to Pawn 3.
Or sex
diet. Do you guys remember when I told you guys that I put a video up about system exclusive messages, and I actually was doing this kind of really dry tutorial on it, and I labeled it SYSEX, and the video got pulled down by YouTube.
Yes, I've had problems. I've had problems with that too. It's somewhere else. Definitely using that particular sequence
even
of
news
letters.
Chats for like violent crimes and stuff. They have to be careful. They have to say rapist.
Yeah, well, you can't use all the sort of violent base words. Like you have to abbreviate them. Like SA now is an abbreviation that people use.
George Orwell was right.
Yeah, it's become
Newspeak.
Yeah. They'll just ban those words eventually. Like what you can't win.
Double plus good though. I tell you, I recently read Julia, which is the female version of female perspective of 1984. It's by Andrea Newson, I think the woman is American writer. It's really, really good actually, and she's been able to take, because Eric Blair was his real name, wasn't it? It's not a copy of what Eric Blair would have written, but she was able to actually take the perspective of 1984. And the style of writing, and she did a really good job. It's a good read, actually, And the stuff in Room 101 is absolutely scary. It's really.
I've always been like, I did lit when I was younger, so I'm kind of I nerd out on on language, right? And I used to always be blown away of the metaphor with the razor blade in 1984, because I thought that was kind of it was genius actually. Because I don't know if you guys have read it, but for those who haven't, there's like the use of the razor blade. People were no longer getting razors anymore. They'd had to reuse their razor, and then there was this black market of razor blades because they weren't making these things, or only the rich had them. I forget the exact language that they used, but I just thought it was a really interesting metaphor because if you're going to try and paint a dystopian society, right? You can hang it on something that we can relate to. And then we think, shit, if we don't have that in our life, I never thought about that because it's kind of something that we just take for granted. And that's what I thought was genius about it.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I think going forward, we just have to use Cockney rhyming slang because they haven't figured that out yet, I don't think. So the algorithm doesn't know about it. You can say Bristols instead, so yeah.
I'm pretty good at understanding the different dialects and of part of the UK, but I swear to God, there was this guy, the Scottish guy. He had a really thick Scottish accent, and I think even the best of us sometimes don't understand them when it's really thick.
Oh yeah,
when he started talking fast, I'm like, what did you just say, mate?
Right up the north, because I mean the Edinburgh accent's quite cosmopolitan.
Well, yeah, really. It's easy, yeah.
But when you get to Glasgow and get further up in Scotland, it becomes a
this guy was talking about synths, and you turn the closed captions on. This was just for a bit of shits and giggles, right? Yeah. And it couldn't work it out. I could understand it, but this Scottish bloke was talking about all these different types of synths, and the closed caption was saying a whole bunch of stuff that didn't even make any sense.
Oh, really?
Excellent.
It was hilarious.
Yes.
Subtitles required.
Because he's
done by
the music track JP site, the Japanese guy, his subtitles are sometimes the best. The translation's so far off, it's funny. It's
I think we did that once, Daren. Do you remember that? Was that the Japanese guy?
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
I think so.
Oh, we have to dig that up again.
There used to be a girl who would use Google Translate to translate things that people would write, and then she'd turn them into songs. I think it might be just called Google Translate, and they'd sort of do it half a dozen times, and then
so it gets mangled.
Take a song. Yeah,
Chinese whispers
and it's just hilarious. Absolutely.
So
she had a really good voice.
You translate, and then you take the translated back in, put it into the opposite to translate.
Yeah, but you do
back.
it several times.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I actually haven't thought about doing that.
We had great stuff at work with Microsoft Pitch. They would actually take the voicemails and transcribe them to your emails, and craziest stuff because so many accents at work. And one time, one thing translated to "bad kitty slow." Like, what the hell does that mean? It's a good band name, I guess.
We could guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was an IT related thing, so it wouldn't be anything rude. So.
Well, I mean, IT people use the word root.
It's like the rabbit of negative euphoria.
Oh God, yeah. Wagoo's talking about Babelfish. Do you remember Babelfish?
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, that's Douglas Adams, right?
Yeah, I know, but there was a website.
But there was
the
original Google was called Babelfish.
Oh, Babelfish.
Babelfish. That was it. Yeah.
Great concept.
Hungarian translation.
Yes. Stick a fish in your ear.
Yeah, Hovercraft was full of eels.
I used to love Douglas Adams books. Douglas Adams was a genius. He's great. No.
The phones are now you can actually put an app on your phone that uses the Google Translator engine in it, and you can go to a different country and it literally
in real time
does it in real time. It's not actually that bad. Like you could.
That's a great way to start.
Get away.
Delay sometimes. I know people use those things, and I've talked
or
to
a bar
them,
fight,
and it's a little bit of a delay. Not quite real time.
Yeah. Why do we pay all those people at the United Nations then? because it's probably a bit
because
too
they will
important.
start wars if they get the translation wrong.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're invading us. No. It's the translator.
I'm pretty sure there was a movie about that, wasn't there? About a translator that got
There was. a
Yeah,
movie,
actually,
murdered.
Yeah.
can't remember.
Oh,
his
not
name.
murdered, because there's a British movie called Secret something or other, and where it was the Iraq War, and she was a translator working in GCHQ, and the Americans were. It's true. The Americans were trying to get the United Nations to actually
involved
go to war, and you know. The war that we went to, the Iraq War, was illegal.
I think that's what I
and
watched.
she
as well.
was a whistleblower.
Yep.
And I
Oh, don't
watched
have to try now.
I
We
watched
just
it
have
again.
Trump, so it's easy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But, apparently, he's been doing some very strange things. What's
we're
this
not
stuff
allowed
about
to
him
talk.
dancing?
We're not allowed to talk about the election, apparently.
Aren't we?
Oh, is that another band thing on the thing?
Oh, I
how
don't
those
know.
political channels going to survive?
Yeah, well, actually,
YouTube is
'cause-
political shit.
Yeah.
Someone made an interesting question the other day. What do you do if you live in the US and you're a citizen, right? And you're a conservative, because a lot of people are conservatives, but you hate Trump. So what do you do?
Well, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you get on his list as a bad guy, you're basically excommunicated. They call them rhinos, Republican in name only.
All right.
Yeah, but surely there must be a movement there for I don't know.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of people with some power, but like Mitt Romney and stuff, that guy's never going to go for any kind of Trump.
No, because he's tainted now, but that's the problem with him.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I got taken to task by there was a comment from a guy who complained because I said that if the Americans wanted Kamala Harris to win, all they had to do was take the "do not drink" warning off of bleach.
Yeah.
He wanted to do it for COVID. That's true.
Yeah.
Can you get the bleach in there and the UV light?
Yeah.
How many quotes?
Apparently,
how many quotes could
the
you
new
have?
The new Trump movie is pretty
gonna
good.
build a
Apparently,
great big
the
wall.
one.
I heard about it. Yeah, apparently they hate it, of course. So.
Yeah, he absolutely hates it. So it's definitely worth going to see on that basis alone.
Yeah.
But the review that I listened to only this morning said that it was actually, they've got their facts right. So the stuff about rape, are we allowed to say rape? We're not allowed
Not
to
really,
say
no.
rape, are we?
It's grape.
No,
It's a grape.
So,
Grape.
So the stuff about grape is true.
Yeah.
Although so it's so I wasn't going to go and see it, but I'm definitely going to go and see it if it comes to.
Yeah, it's worth supporting for sure. If it's
Marky's on my point, so I didn't really want to say it like that, but that's exactly what I meant.
It's true. Yeah.
What he's saying in chat, that is the truth.
But they can be boxed in and ignored, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to silence them. He's trying to silence them. He's trying to control the courts.
Or say
he's
they're
trying to
bad
control the
people or
elections.
whatever.
Yeah. Which he's just using the same tactics that he used when he was not when he was as a businessman. Now he's using it as a
and the tip is because Elon's on his side now. Obviously, he always kind of was, but now he's really mad about it. His typical thing is when he doesn't like somebody posting something on Twitter. I don't want to call it X. I'll call it Twitter because X is stupid. But he'll
be talking about your ex.
basically insult you if he doesn't like your politics by calling you a pederast.
Yeah.
Right. That's their way of, I don't like what you said, so I'm going to just make up something about you. Right?
Yeah, or just
it's bullshit.
Or just censor it, literally censor it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also try to defame you, make you look like a bad person in so many different ways. And it's just childish,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
Well, we've had a bit of that, haven't we, Andy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The synth mafia. Gotta watch out, man.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah.
I think you were mentioned as well, Ian.
I probably was. Because, hello, trolls.
We mentioned this at the earlier part of the show.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
But
How do you get that pencil up?
I got hammered for, calling out Eurorack last week over this. Their flamboyant use of the word analog. What was it? Multi-timbral analog synthesizer.
Synthesizer, yeah, that was the word.
But at some point, it was obvious you were just screwing around, right? I mean,
we were mucking around, right? But
you even said it in the show.
Some people got nasty with me about it.
Yeah.
I even said in the
people
show that
do.
I'm mucking around.
If you go and look at these people's channels, there's no content there, so they're just keyboard warriors.
Oh yeah,
they're not. So
that's the creative.
When I first got trolled, and it was over a guitar video, it got a lot of views. It got to 400,000 views. This guitar video. This was before the pandemic, I think. And so I had all these guitarists. He's about a guy called Rob Chapman, who's a fairly big YouTuber, and I was getting probably 30 messages a day, and some were positive, some were negative, but there was lots of trolls in there. And at that
Rob
point,
Chapman is the Enderton's guy, right? Wasn't he the Enderton's guitar guy?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, he lives in Malta now, I think. So I would reply to everybody, whether it was positive or negative. And then at some point, I just thought, this is pointless. This is a waste of my time talking to these people.
Yeah.
So now I just don't respond. Yeah.
No,
like I say, I don't delete them, but it's up there to go and watch. It's actually not that bad. I'm being accused of being grumpy and obviously, if I'm moaning about the price of going to Bristronica, okay, it was an opinion. We've all got one.
Yeah, just opinion.
Exactly.
So I thought I was pretty balanced, but it's quite entertaining.
There's no such thing as balance now.
It's overreaction is what I thought.
It's an interesting experiment that Ian did, and I think it was also an interesting experiment that I did, and I think they're very, very heavily related. And what it shows you is the type of content that actually sparks views and comments is usually edgy content. It's edgy, where it's polarizing,
especially.
Yeah, or you got your clickbait thumbnails, but it's edgy, right? So when you start forming a side, if you sit on the fence with everything, people are just going to be like la 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 la. No one really cares. But if you actually form an opinion and you start being edgy about it, then you spark response, and that's what Ian did, and that's what I did during the week when both of us got trolled.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and remember, some people do it. Some people do it all the time, don't they? They do it just for that reaction. Which I don't do that. I mean, I might not get trolled for quite a while now, but there'll be something else crop up at some point that I'll have an opinion
don't forget,
about.
And the time. The times we live in these days, the times we live in, there's only a fence now. You're either on one side or the other, or it's either black or it's white. That's it these days.
The worry for me is not me getting trolled, because I can cope with other people's opinions, even if they're really negative. And I mean, at first when it started to get personal, like you old bastard or whatever they would say, and that feels when it's personal, it feels a bit harder, but I can still cope with that. So there are people out there that really, probably younger people, that don't really know how to cope with that, and I'm thinking of people, the celebrities.
Then they shouldn't be on YouTube.
It doesn't have to be your own. Doesn't have to be your own channel. You can have a coward like the guy who tried to call me out based on the whole pub thing, and PSN and all that stuff, even though it's not a PSN thing. And it's on his channel. I'm not going to get him to take it down because it makes him look like an idiot.
How many times have you guys...
And also childish, because he doesn't know how to handle criticism and jokes.
I think it's the same, Andy. I think it's the same. How many times have you guys driven down the road and thought to yourself, the person in front of me shouldn't even be allowed to drive. They shouldn't have a license. Right?
Yeah.
The same thing. How many times have you thought to yourself, how did that person get a degree? How did that person... How are they able to feed themselves?
Sometimes I wonder. Sometimes I wonder how that particular sequence of DNA was created. There should have been something in the universe that stopped that.
Yeah, but that's the world we live in.
It's not,
that's the
natural
rich
selection doesn't
tapestry of
always do
life,
its
isn't
job.
it?
That's the thing.
Yeah,
So.
Yeah. Let's face it, the majority of people that we interact with are absolutely lovely and brilliant.
Oh,
and it's funny because a friend of mine's lives in France, and he's having some problems with a neighbour or something. And I was having a conversation with another friend because she said, "Oh, he's really, really upset about what's going on with this particular person." And I'm saying that I'm at that point in my life where I avoid meeting people that are in effect arseholes. You can't always, I work for myself now, so I can refuse to work with somebody if I wanted to. When I was working in a university, I had to get on with people, and I knew who the arseholes were, but I just didn't. So I'd always be professional, but I wouldn't interact with them on a personal level, really. So it's And Kent, you're the same.
When you were younger, they tended to be your boss. In your first job.
And I've had a boss that was like that. And that was really tough when I was in my early 20s. Yep. I had a guy who was just an arse, and I just, and I was always polite. I was always professional, but the sooner I got out of there, the better, really, because you can't win with people like that.
Oh my God, Daren's moved something.
What are you doing? Oh my God! Somebody stop him! Somebody stop him now!
Stop!
The eyes.
Stop!
Oh, no.
Something in the world is wrong.
I'm blind.
Darren, how come that's not plugged in?
No.
Because it's just up there. I haven't plugged in. It's the one down here that's plugged in, and even the boutique one's not plugged in.
I'm just trolling you, mate. I'm gonna have to hit the bed, guys. I'm getting tired. I was up at 6.
I need to take my wife up for a meal for this evening. We're booked in.
Can't you just eat her at home?
I'm not going to answer that. I'm not going to go there.
I'm going to go because I had over here. I don't know if you can see this. There's a very hungry dog at the door.
Somebody else wants dinner.
I'm going to feed you now.
Mine's snoring. My dog is snoring.
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, we are finishing.
Hey, Randy, real quick, as an update, anyone's trying to find the comet, there's an app called Bright Comets you can use, and check this out. Cool. It's
augmented reality.
See the little ring right there?
Yeah.
That's where it is right now, just near the sun. So the sun has been up for a while. It's about ready to rise. So if you get this app, you can go out and just find it in the sky. You don't have to know how to read a star chart. It's called Bright Comets, and it'll show you the little ring. You just pick the comet. It's C2023A3.
It uses GPS, right?
It's an accelerometer. So like now, if I aim it this way, you're going to see my sky over here. But this is what's already gone down. This is down the horizon.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
right
an astrology type app. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Astronomy, not astrology.
Astrology
is not science.
Yeah.
It's like calling, I was going to say it's like
don't
like
do that.
It's like calling Canadian and American.
Anyway, guys, gonna have to go. Lovely to see you all.
See everybody.
Bye, everybody.
See you next week.
Bye. See you in 2 weeks. I'm back in 2 weeks.
Oh, I'll see you, mate.
Bye.
Okay. Bye bye.